Chud, what are you doing? Chud, what the? I gotta do a show, Chud. What are you doing? What are you doing, Chud? I'm trying to get ready to do a show, and you're walking around under my feet, and I'm worried I'm gonna move and step on you. I know. I know. Well, you check check with Chip, and he'll give you the schedule because he's got it pretty close. Hey, everybody, Chud, Mama Chud, hanging out. Talk amongst yourself. I got to give her a ride upstairs. She gets exhausted after she poops. Come here. What are you doing? I'm sorry. I know. Completely unprofessional. I'm supposed to be a professional streamer. God damn it. And but I guess I'm a cat dad first and foremost. We all, I think, at some point we have to be honest with ourselves about who, everyone thinks. I talk to them, and they all think that something. They think that they own their cats, right? And it's not true. I think we all got to understand that our cats own us, right? We all live for our cats. That is how it happens, and there's no way around this. It's from the highest office in the land to the leader of the Medellin cartel to a simple nightclub performer like myself. We all know deep inside, you don't own a cat owns you, yes? And there's nothing we can do about it. All we got to do is just smile and clean the litter box at least every 12 hours. It's very important. And it's just a way to show love. They test us. This is one of the things people tell me. I don't know how I could take care of my parents when they got old with diapers and bath and all that. And first of all, they did it for you. So fuck off. Just get at it. And secondly, I want to be abundantly clear. Get yourself a cat because you'll get over it fucking quick. Okay, you'll get it over it. You sit there next to the litter box with your little sieve. Like you're a fucking someone during the gold rush who's really disappointed, and you're finding these things, and you put them in the bag, and then you throw it out. It's just, and then by the time your parents are old, you're like, I can an ass I can wipe. This is not the problem. You should see the cat turds I dealt with back in the day. Sorry. Summer's kid found this in a drawer, and he just like dropped it off on my desk, and I think I more put them on and did that as a dare. I'm just gonna say, hi everybody. Oh, and I need to put my headphones in because we've got clips galore. Man, it's been a crazy 48 hours. Thank you, and I hopefully I'll be able to speak the next few days. I think I'll be all right, because had a lot of singing, lots of singing. It was a good time though. Has anybody seen the clips from that night, from Tuesday, or any like? Oh, and they emailed me the files. Bless their heart. So it wasn't that Flapper's streaming software was down. It was that their computer was incapable of bringing their cameras in. So what they did was they have 3 cameras in there. They gave me the files for all of them. So now I've got to edit effectively a minor special of that show. So it'll be a couple of days. But their software was down, and I told everybody yesterday, but hopefully I didn't let anybody down, and it'll be there soon enough. And the next one, apparently it'll be smoothed out. I did one of my like master classes in streaming on a budget to them. Yeah, seriously, CSL. Good Lord, man. Poo Picker Up, thank you so much. And somebody did a $50 one. Did I see that? Did I get that right? Oh my God. Wait, where was that? I get to scroll back to the thing. I was too busy doing a silly character. Thank you so much. And then where was it? There was one more. I saw it go by. It's gonna be at the end of my. Yeah, it's right at the end of my available stream. It's so. Ugh. I'll find it. It'll be there. Don't worry. It'll be there when we go to the comms, and I apologize for this right out of the gate. Oh, outrageous! Why are you Why is she outrageous all of a sudden? I think it is already planning it. This is for in case you don't know. This is Laura Ingraham, and Laura is a Fox News nighttime host, which means she's legally allowed to bullshit her way through everything. And today, CSL pointed this out to me, but like Jim Jordan and Comey have come out of the woodwork because they were effectively just like they were. Well, we'll get to Greg Kelly in a minute because he's still dealing with this. I don't know. It's like weird, porny. That's so odd. It looks like Greg's confessing to his fetish. I don't know what that is. But Comer's all over the place finally. He was gone for a while, and now he's back out, like, selling this stuff. But the biggest message I keep seeing everywhere is this ridiculousness that China's getting everything it wants from Joe Biden. And I'm still waiting for them to explain it to me. So maybe this is in vain. Maybe I keep going to the trough and expecting there to be a floater. No. Maybe I keep going to an empty well. Oh, and my mic is quiet. Am I doing good? And my mic is very quiet. And I turned it up very loud. Is this a little better? Let's see. Let's see. I turn it up in there. I think it's, yeah, there's that. And then we bring it up I'll bring it up this way. And is that a little better? Guys, is that better? It's good? Okay. Hopefully the audio from these clips it's been very odd. I had to do the boost volume on almost all of them these days. I don't know what the heck is going on. But the title of this one obviously jumped out at me. As you do. And it's you'll see. Laura, I don't know why they're not using her full name. They're ashamed that she is Ingraham. Trump's trial will be live streamed. Oh, you bet your ass it will. And we're going to be on all day. Just count on it. Just lock it in. But Laura, Biden and Beijing are BFFs. They're BFFs. I'm such a grown-up. Isn't that fun? That's the best thing about being a nighttime Fox News host, is that I can say the most outlandish things, and they let me. So the title of this one is Laura, Biden, and Beijing are BFFs. If this is more of the same, which it probably is, I might bail on it, because fucking hell. But this is probably the angle, unless she has a guess. It's Ingram Angle, together again with you. America, fuck, how cool, yeah, boy. And I wrote my name on glass. Okay. It's very dramatic. It's very, very dramatic. Why Angle is in a yellow box, I don't know.
Biden's Beijing bailout.
It's about Biden Beijing bailout.
That's the focus of tonight's angle.
It is, isn't it? Biden's Beijing bailout. He's just gonna, he's taking care of his buddies. All right. Again, unless you actually have a drummer just off camera doing that cymbal swell, it's just over the top. I can't abide. Summer loving. Oh God, shut the fuck up. What are you doing? All right, this should be a dead giveaway right out of the gate. I can't fucking let her get me a fucking copyright strike. Jesus Christ. Right out of the gate. And secondly, if you're leading off with this, because like Biden and Beijing are like getting sand in the weirdest places. I mean, I'm guessing the argument's going to fail pretty early. Yeah, dude, you don't do that to my girl.
A blast.
3 very productive days, very full days here in China. I visited iconic American companies like Boeing and had a wonderful tour of Disney here in Shanghai.
I've been there. It's a good time. It's very sparse, very empty, and but the Tron ride kicks ass. And I'm just saying, Disney, pack it up, bring it over here. I'm just saying, maybe Disney, Iowa, something in the middle. You know what I mean? And you got East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast. It's just a thought.
And of course, I met
Biden Commerce Secretary slobbering all over China.
with my counterparts from the PRC government.
Yeah, it sounds like she's very excited. I met with my counterpart. Went to Shanghai, Disney. That was fun. And then I met with my counterparts at the PRC government because it's not a happy ending story. It's that kind of story.
All of the meetings were productive, I'm happy to report.
Well, this
Yeah, that sounds like slobbering. Jesus Christ. All of the meetings were productive. I'm happy to report. Cool. War didn't break out. I think that's considered productive right now.
week, Biden's Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo was the latest in a long line of senior Biden administration officials who made their pilgrimages to Beijing.
Pilgrimages to Beijing. This is a new level of smarm I have not seen, and I do mean not seen, from Laura in quite some time. It's one of those things where you get the feeling that she's only smiling to show off her new lip gloss, and who hasn't been there?
Now, after this trip, 4 days long, it's clear that this White House is just far more excited about cooperating and working with the Chinese Communist Party than they ever have been or ever will be with the GOP.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true. They signed bipartisan bills with the GOP, at least the sane members of it. And so far, China, they just had some meetings because they've got to. Because, you notice she pointed out, I went to visit some very big companies because they have very big facilities and they're not going to be able to pack their shit up quickly. So easy, guys, everybody. It's like negotiating with a, it's kind of like if there's a bull in the house and it's about to wreck everything and you're like, whatever you do, just back out slowly and no one hold up a giant red cloak. Whatever you do.
Now, Gina and Beijing established working groups. They announced a tourism summit. But I think this was the angle's favorite.
We agreed that technical experts from China and from the U.S. would convene to strengthen protections for trade secrets. This trip was an excellent start.
An excellent start. Yeah. Oh, you really? She didn't just sign off on everything right out of the gate? Hold on one second. I think there was a better version of that clip. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. Real quick. There's a Yeah, it's something like this. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. This is a better take on it. Hold on one second.
Political hacks to make deals with China. And then we lose almost $500 billion a year with China. And we want to know what's wrong with us. What's wrong? What's wrong with us is we have people that don't know what they're doing, making deals with some of the smartest people in the world. They use their smartest, toughest, meanest people. We use dumb people. We use hacks.
Yeah, that was sorry. That was early in the conversation. Let me see. There was another versions of yeah. Here, maybe it was this one.
China is likely to do away. He'd like to see some.
Hey, look, he was able to do that. I think it's great. Maybe we'll have to give that a shot someday.
Trump does have a history of admiring political strongmen,
He's having dinner with him. But there was another, I think, even a better version of where they had a meeting. Let's see. What's the good one? Yes. Okay, this should. Let's see. Jeez. Here we go. 1 second.
Highly respected people.
Hold on. I don't want the edited version. I want the full version. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying. Here we go. Well, let's just do this one.
And nobody was focused on 5G, but now they are.
You been briefed on any of that? Do you
Well, I have,
message of
and
Beijing and China?
you know, I know President Xi. We're working on trade deals right now. We'll see what happens. Meantime, they're paying us billions and billions of dollars of tariffs, which is fine with me. But I know that they're working. I know that's a very important situation for President Xi. And you know, you could say what you said, but you could also say that he has allowed that to go on for a long time, and you know, it's been relatively. I think it's been relatively nonviolent.
Do you believe that protesters should be allowed to protest on the streets in Hong Kong as they've been doing?
Well, they are. I mean, they are. I don't think China stopped them. China could stop them if they wanted. I think that, again, I'm not involved in it very much, but I think President Xi of China has acted responsibly, very responsibly. They've been out there protesting for a long time. I've never seen protests like it where you have that many people. It looks like 2 million people. Those are big protests. But I think...
Yeah, it literally had protests that size of his presidency.
I hope that President Xi will do the right thing, but it has been going on a long time. There's no question about it. Yeah, we're talking.
He's just a huge fan. Anyway, sorry, there was something about slathering praise upon Putin or something, or I mean, Xi Jinping or something like that.
Wait a second. We're going to get trade secrets protection help from China?
No, they're going to have a working group about it, which is basically an outline of further areas where they don't get our shit.
Talk about the foxes guarding the hen house.
Oh, thank God you work for Fox, and yet they were able to find a picture of a fox licking its chops outside of a... have you guys discovered Midjourney yet? Can you... you do realize you can make free AI art instead of just scouring for the shittiest picture you could... Never mind. I don't know why they don't have a series of Fox pictures. You do name... your network is named Fox. Never mind.
I mean, do Democrats ever give Republicans the benefit of the doubt? Like...
Yes, for far too long.
they do with China? The answer would be no.
Somebody's been taking like gesture lessons from Sean Hannity.
And of course, all the climate change dances that Kerry's done with China, they're a complete joke. And the press spin has been hilarious. Politico cited the fact that China committed to regular conversations, and that represents a substantial step in restoring trust.
That's hilarious. The title doesn't. Kerry's trip to China yields no breakthrough on climate. I think they were kind of direct. It just said, maybe don't highlight the part where they're saying it didn't do very much and take a quote out of the center of it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now I've got to fucking look at the quote, don't I? All right. Politico. Okay. Politico. Kerry's trip to China. There you go. Yields no breakthrough on climate. Okay. And the quote, failed to reach two climate agreements. The two sides committed to regular conversations. Where's that place? Okay. Kerry said hours of... Oh, okay. So it's a semi-quote from him, but not... Let's see. Meeting was going to reveal things we clearly... Okay, hold on. This is their version of it. Right here. This is... I don't know if there's two versions of this article or if she's just misquoting it on purpose or whatever, but it says, Kerry said the hours of closed-door meetings with senior Chinese officials revealed things we clearly agreed on, with both sides committing to regular meetings, including one in the next few weeks. He still expressed hope of achieving breakthroughs that could keep the planet from experiencing disastrous climate change. The two sides committed to regular conversations represents a substantial... Okay, we had a very... So we're going to meet regularly. Yeah, here he goes. Even without any immediate breakthroughs, the fact that the two sides committed to regular conversations represents a substantial step in restoring trust between the two countries at a time when overall relations are at their modern nadir. Veterans of the international climate diplomacy said. Basically, considering how absolutely fucked conversations between us and China are, and considering how contentious our relationship is with China, which is absolutely at its modern worst, I guess continuing to talk is a good thing, because it is.
I mean, this is insane.
Well, not if you read the whole article. I mean, they have a caveat in there that you intentionally oddly took out.
We are on a...
Russia remains China's top crude supplier in July, despite narrower discounts. Yeah, we don't care. I don't care if Russia's selling oil to China. Good luck in your senior year.
A suicide mission by aligning ourselves against fossil fuels while letting China buy oil and everything else from Russia and Iran.
Look, it's a great point. Thank you for bringing up Laura Ingraham. So, how do we stop them? I mean, there's only two ways. You can sanction China equally to the sanctions on Russia, and probably have them end up seizing iPhone factories and all that kind of stuff immediately, literally swiping a few $1 billion from the economy, a couple $100 billion from the economy right away, stuff that will take years to replace. You can do that. That's one option. You can, let me see if I can find a map of the South China Seas, and I'll show you something. One of the other things, Laura, is you can, let's see if I can bring this up. Yeah, this is a better one. This is a longer one. There we go. Open this sucker up. There you go. We could, and this is probably more Laura's idea of a good time. But you could maybe we could put ships in the Strait of Malacca, and there would be a famine in China in about 6 months. Just block that pathway. I mean, you could probably, what's the number, Laura? How many Chinese people do we need to kill while we're negotiating our way out of our trade situation with them and moving factories elsewhere? What's the timeline? Was it, because why not just, I guess, wipe them out, right? I mean, it saves us some bombs. We can just let them starve to death. We just block that area. 6 months, most of them are dead. I mean, the uprisings would be violent. They'd probably bomb Taiwan just for the fuck of it. It would consider it an act of war, but you could do it secretly. You don't even have to do it with like parked ships. You could just crash some ships there. You could literally send a sub in and have it sink a bunch of ships, making the clearance impossible for ships to get through. Or you could hire a bunch of ships and have them go through there and buy them, sink them, and just stack them up like a dam. Just dam the whole thing up. And by the time they work, they're already around and have to make a deal with Sumatra and go past this little place through Java and narrow waters that they couldn't get their bigger ships through, it'd be too late. I mean, you could do that. Is that the plan, Laura? Is that what we're supposed to do? Is that the gig? What do you think, chat room? Should we just straight up, again, because the other one is you could sanction them, but you're going to lose all of our companies that are in there. You can't get them out. Our soft extraction stops, and it's a hard extraction, which is fine. I mean, I don't know I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum.
They're swimming in oil. We all
Russia's swimming in? No, they aren't. They're They're not even turning a profit on it, dipshit. As a matter of fact, if they lessen their supply and use up their equipment and move it closer to because all oil wells have to be regularly serviced or have to be upgraded, or parts of them will go up. And access to those parts is not something that Russia really has right now. So the more they try to oh shit, we got to make hay while the sun shines, and we got to sell this oil, and we got to get it out of the ground as fast as possible. The chance of them breaking that shit down, it moves that date that might have been 18 months from now up to 8 months from now, and they have no way of salvaging it. So best to let them sell it, some to India especially, so they can process it and sell the processed stuff to Europe and shave money off, and Russia's still selling it at cost. So the only beneficiary in this is India. And in the meantime, it's not helping China at all.
Know what China wants.
China has suddenly turned BRICS into an alphabet soup of nations eager to line up against the U.S. From the Hill. U.S. beware, China has new allies in the battle for global supremacy. Oh, yes. It's now, by the way, BRICS is now Brea sucks, which is not true. I've been to the little Brea tar pits. It's lovely. Let me show the new countries, BRICS. When they got this together, okay, which kind of see the new one, expansion of one U.S., but yeah. Yeah, there we go. Well, here you go. This is straight out of foreign policy. This is that standard left wing paper that somebody like Laura would obviously despise. Those who believe that the world is moving to a post-Western global order saw their belief confirmed last week at its annual summit in Johannesburg, the BRICS forum of 5 major emerging economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. I would say receding economies, but we'll for a moment, announced a major expansion by inviting 6 new members. In January, the group will add Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. If economic weight is a measure of power, this will be a singularly potent group. Together, the 11 BRICS states will have a higher share of global GDP based on purchasing power parity than the G7 industrialized countries. Yeah, but they don't make anything. That's another thing for another time. Depending on where you stand, you might celebrate a more powerful BRICS bloc or worry about it, but neither reaction is warranted. An expanded BRICS will not turn the world upside down, nor does it herald the rise of a post-Western global order. Equally outlandish is the claim that BRICS expansion marks a major victory for China, Russia, and their attempts to build an anti-Western bloc among the countries of the global south, or that BRICS is the core of a new non-aligned movement. All the potential interpretations take little heed of the internal dynamics of an expanded BRICS and their implications. By confusing their hopes and fears about the global order with analysis, the Western commentariat, ooh, that's nice, reveals its enormous ignorance about the countries of the global south, their diverse interests, and I think that's, how we often say that our diversity is our strength? It is when you're inside one country under aligned under a constitution. Then diversity is your strength because you have different ideas for solving problems and different life experiences, and everybody can chip in. But the general idea, nobody's operating on a diverse rules structure. Everybody kind of wants the same thing, maggots aside, I suppose, but we all want to live under that particular type of rule of law. These countries don't. And none of them are like, cool, so we're just going to base our weird crypto interspersed currency on the yuan then, right? Yeah, and they can fuck with the yuan's value anytime they want. Great, okay, let's start that. There is no doubt that the sudden clamor for BRICS membership from so many significant countries has colored the analysis, but expanding the list of members does not turn BRICS into a potent bloc. If anything, the expansion only undermines what little cohesion the group had before the expansion. I love you guys, but how many times, why do I have to be right all the fucking time? Why do I have to be, I'm like a shaggier, slightly more butch Cassandra. Yeah, too many cooks spoil the stew. It's a great way of looking at it. And especially when half of them are like, I hate fucking stew. And the other one's like, I like stew, but only with people in it. And the other ones are like, okay, I guess we can eat some people, but do we get a choice on what people? Nope, we eat everybody. Who the fuck are you? Jeffrey Dahmer? By the way, you're watching House Sparks Megaworldwide. I forgot to mention that. Like, subscribe, support the show. Patreon.com. Tomorrow's the first of the month, so joining now is a good time. It's a good time to do it. Help out. Yeah. So the adding like Egypt and Ethiopia to it, and you think the Saudis and the UAE are going to acquiesce to the yuan being the primary trade point? And a lot of what the Saudis and the UAE, more the Saudis than the UAE, but the Saudis definitely want sort of technical expansion in tourism. They're looking down the barrel of 10 years from now where, oh shit, we got to make sure the Chinese tourists come here to see our big Death Star trench city that we're building or any of that shit. So, all right, where were we? Laura, is this it? Yeah, okay. Oh no, that's Trump praising. There she is. U.S. beware, China's new allies. This is so stupid.
Of course we know this. They want to supplant America on the global stage.
Yeah, good luck. Wait, Mom. Yeah. You know what? Anybody want to start holding your breath now, or should we should probably wait till like what? Tell you what, in 2045, we'll get back together. We'll powwow about when we'll start holding our breath, right? Okay, hold on one second. I know. Here we go.
In part by beginning the process of de-dollarization.
Jesus Christ. Look, I don't mind dumb talking points, but this one is so last August.
Which would
like a year ago.
Would be a direct hit to our middle class and the end of America's superpower status.
China doesn't have the international reserve currency, and you believe them to be a superpower. Russia doesn't have the reserve currency for fucking anybody. You still think they're a superpower? Laura, I'm very concerned. I'm very confused. I'm very upset. I don't know why you shit on America the way you do. Because in all fairness, de-dollarization is not fucking happening, no matter how much you and Gal Luft hope so. But even beyond that, you keep telling us all the time that we should be afraid of Russia and China because they're superpowers and we got to deal with them, and there's going to be a nuclear war if we don't bend over backwards or forwards, I suppose, in Trump's case for Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping. They don't have the world's reserve currency. You really think that's the only thing America has? I mean, never mind. It's not going to fucking happen, but that's, yeah.
Talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, please do, because we're waiting with bated breath.
But the globalists, they're not preoccupied about
China's economic outlook. Pep talks up top, gloom on the ground. From Vivian Wong, August 20. Yes, because China's fucked. And
what happens to the working class here. Certainly not worried about Americans' decline in general.
We're not actually declining, asshat.
They're too worried about China's economic problems.
No, I think that's a conversation about the impact that China's economy slowing down would have on the entire global economy, of which we are a part, but we're almost uniquely an island protected from the worst impacts of it.
Which we know are growing exponentially. And they're worried, the Biden people, about managing China's decline.
Yeah, while we get our companies out.
New York Times columnist and supposed...
hold on. Brett Stevens. Let's start with the removal of the Trump administration tariffs. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Hold on. Now I got to jump over to this one. You can't... All right. I don't know who Brett Stevens is. Give me 1 second. That's the... how do we manage China's decline? Well, oddly, he didn't say how do we stop it. So just manage it. Just let it happen. Yeah, here's the quote she's got on the boards, kids. That's my best response to China's economic woes is American economic magnanimity. Magnanimity. Economic woes, you're just being a dick. economic woes of American, that could start with the removal of the Trump administration tariffs that have done so much to hurt American companies and consumers as they have the Chinese. Not even remotely close to true. Let's see. Let's start with what this fucker's talking about. Okay, first of all, Yahoo now. This is Brett Stevens, opinion columnist, who clearly is what does he do in the what does Brett do in the Biden administration? Let's see. Brett Stevens has been an opinion columnist for the Times since April 2017. I don't remember who was president in 2017. Somebody have to remind me. He won a Pulitzer Prize for commentary at the Wall Street Journal in 2013. Previously, he was editor-in-chief of the Jerusalem Post. So he's currently not a member of the Biden administration, is what you're saying. Okay. Cool. The scientist who foresaw China's stagnation, the problems with China's economy start at the top. What can replace China as a global economic engine? Yeah, they all seem like they're just clamoring for it. How do we manage China's decline? Not stop it. How do we manage it? But this is apparently, I don't know why this is in Biden's lap, but we'll find out.
Republican Brett Stevens is just one of many in the
Republican Brett Stevens.
orbit pushing some type of U.S. bailout of Beijing.
U.S. bailout, it just means easing the sanctions so they can sell a bunch of shit on the cheap. Basically, it's like knowing there's going to be a fire sale and just bringing water to, to start spraying water on the stuff you might want to buy later.
Now, let's drop the Trump tariffs on Chinese imports, he argues, because
he's a fucking Republican.
That would be showing, I love this, American economic magnanimity. Regular people, you don't get that magnanimity, but China should. Now, you can't.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting to change the fucking screen. Sorry. And she was reading from it, so it kind of worked out. I'm just saying. It was like a good accident. But she was against the rescue package. Let me just put that out there. So the COVID support, the money that they were giving out, the child income tax credit, all that stuff. She's against it. So fuck off with this magnanimity bullshit that, you don't deserve it. The American people don't get that from Washington, but moron, you're against it. You're against all that stuff.
Not make this up. Think of where we are right now.
Okay. What's the stock market right now? 34K, something like that, plus, where we have 6% inflation. All the countries that she says we're supposed to be afraid of are, if they're not at 20 to 25%, or up inflation, they're in China's situation where they're facing deflation and a collapse of their real estate market.
With our trade deficit.
Look at this. So we're just helping our enemies now. Jesus.
With China. It's a complete nightmare. We've gone from $308 billion in 2020 to $352.9 billion in 2021 and a staggering $382.3 billion last year. But none of this is enough, frankly, for Janet Yellen or Gina Raimondo or Brett.
By the way, there's a reason why we have a trade deficit with China. And that is because Americans, more Americans than she fucking has any idea, have started Amazon drop shipping businesses or have created products themselves and have them made in China. Not just MAGA hats and Trump ties and every fucking piece of golf wear at Trump's facilities and his gift shops at Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster and all these fucking places. Everything you buy in there is from China. Everything. That number that they keep citing over and over again and that Trump cited a bunch of times, is down and has stayed relatively down, but is also the wholesale fucking number. What do you think the average mom and pop store's trade deficit is with their primary suppliers, from whom they buy things for wholesale and sell them at a profit? That's the trade deficit with China. We're not interested in selling our shit to China. because there's not enough people there, as many people as they have, to buy the high-end goods and services and the like that America has, or they're not allowed because we don't trust them and what they will do with it. Yeah, look at Temu. Jesus Christ. Temu's because the trade deficit has dropped by $200 fucking billion in the last 3 years.
Stevens, or anyone in the DC establishment. In fact, I actually think they'd be happier if we had an even bigger trade deficit with China.
Yeah, because they'd like to go back to pre-Xi Jinping 2006, cheap labor, cheap goods that you can sell for a maximized profit. Right now, it's the profit on stuff from China is razor fucking thin. The only reason it's profitable is because their most favorite nation's trade status gives them the ability to ship things to the United States and from their arrival straight to your house, not pay any shipping. Unlike shit that's made in the United States, where if you make something here and you need to ship it to somebody or you need to mail it to somebody, you got to pay full freight. The Chinese do not and have not for a long time. He wants to go back to that. Those businessmen want to go back to that.
And they'd be euphoric if we were even more dependent on China. Also,
hang the fuck out. Why? I know she's not addressing me because, I'm below Laura. She's not interested in a, 5'9" girly man with visible abs. Who'd she used to fuck? Dinesh D'Souza. Yeah, she's got a type, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So she's not interested in anything I might have to say. But I would like to say for the record, it's like, why the fuck, as a Democrat, is it my goddamn fault if Republicans kill my biz competition with the free shipping? Exactly, CSL. Why is it my fault if Republicans, her audience, are arguing for pre-Trump free trade?
And for our supply chains. Cheaper stuff that we can buy here, right?
No. Cheaper stuff that we can ship here and sell at a higher price to other people.
Of course, this means China will get even richer and be able to buy even more weapons and threaten more people.
Okay. Look, I get it. Sometimes you don't have a show. You show up to work and you talk to your writers and you're in the room and you're like, really? Really? We don't, nothing. No, Comer came up, fucking snake eyes. None of this shit isn't, all right. What do we got in the dead story box? We got a whole box of China fear-mongering shit we haven't used in a while. Look at this. I mean, we got all these bumper stickers that say China's going to eat our lunch. Thanks, Obama. We could just scratch out the Obama and put Biden if you want to do that. That might remind people that Trump praised Xi more than anybody else in government. All right. Well, I don't know. You know what? We'll just make you some graphics and you can tell us about how at the worst possible economic time in China's existence, they're still kicking our ass because fucking God knows why.
No matter what happens, the answer from the establishment is...
The establishment. I see. Okay, so that's what it is. So because it's a Republican who's been around in a while, he's part of the establishment. So this is the bait and switch. This is kind of amazing. And this is a good... This is a prime example of probably I would say the primary service that Laura Ingraham provides on Fox News, which is take shitty things that Republicans do and say and attribute them in a tacit way, tie them to what Democrats are trying to do, which is wholly different because they're all elected or they're all in DC or they've been there. Somebody said that who's been around for a while, and Democrats have been around for a while, so they're part of the establishment. See what I mean? It's all that. It's all... Oh, thanks, Kath. I agree. It's a good shirt. It is. I sang a Danko Jones song on Tuesday. It was very exciting.
Always the same. We need more engagement with China. Well, is China booming? We should have more engagement with China.
China's not booming. China's the opposite of booming. It's the bad kind of boom, I think, honestly.
Yeah, boom.
Boom, yeah. I understand boom.
Bada boom.
Big.
Big.
Yeah, big bada boom.
Big. Bada big boom. Big.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, Yeah, big bada boom.
Bada boom.
Big boom, big bada boom.
We share responsibility, in my view, to show that China and the United States can manage our differences.
Dear God, stop filleting them right there. Manage our differences. I mean, why doesn't he? This is worse than when Ivanka Trump had one of her kids sing in Mandarin.
And to find ways to work together on urgent global issues.
Yeah, climate. Of course, they're the biggest polluter on the fucking planet.
The United States stands ready to do just that, work with you if that's what you desire.
Economically, well, let's do CCP level propaganda and encourage Americans to invest in China, because that's what Raimondo was doing with her women executive meeting today.
Oh, really? You got a clip of that? What was hold on. What the fuck? What was the title on this one? U.S.'s Gina Raimondo to meet Chinese women executives in Shanghai. I'm going to tell you something. That's a CCP dog and pony show. No, I'm not saying the women are dogs. They're quite lovely, I'm sure. The point is they're trying to show that they got more equality than America does. Yeah, they're trying to show us up. This is just fucking, I would call it the wolf warrior diplomacy. It's more like the wolf cub diplomacy, but to say like, look, we've got more female executives than you do. They don't get paid, and they're not, really, nobody listens to them, and they're all going to be fired as soon as you leave. But yeah.
To invest in China, because that's what Raimondo was doing with her.
No, it wasn't.
Women executive meeting today. And is China supporting Russia and Ukraine? Of course China's supporting Russia and Ukraine. That's no big deal.
Well, you're supporting Russia and Ukraine, dipshit. So you are technically more on the side of China right now than the Biden administration's. Congratulations, dummy. You played yourself.
We've been very clear about Ukraine as long as it takes. Just not.
China in trouble, Biden to the rescue. Good fucking Lord. All right, I will say this is, they used to call Bill O'Reilly's show the No Spin Zone. Remember that? Which was, and it was a trademark, which means it could be a lie. That's the great thing about trademarks, is they don't have to be true. Nobody at McDonald's actually thinks you deserve a break today. And I think the Band-Aid is actually more stuck on me than I am on it. If another better Band-Aid came along, I'd be glad to use it. And of course, Coke is not indeed life, especially not Diet Coke, although it is the closest thing to a stimulant, a street stimulant that's available in, gas stations. Unless you're in Kentucky, and then there's bath salts. This is another conversation for another time. But this is the problem. Okay, so they have a problem at Fox News and Newsmax and all these, is that they've been making this argument that Biden and Beijing are best buddies. That's their whole premise, right? And that Biden's been giving China everything they want. But they're aware that their audience has been watching as the news comes out all over, either their channel on Sunday mornings, when it's not Maria Bartiromo, when everybody else is talking, going, Jesus Christ, China's economy is fucked. And it's really hard to explain to your audience that Biden's trying to support China right now, and he's giving them everything they want, and he has since day one, and he's doing everything he can because they've got either they bribed him or they have blackmail or both. And I don't know how you do both. If you have one, why do the other? If you're paying them and they're doing the thing, why do you need blackmail? And if you have blackmail, why would you bribe someone? I don't understand. And it's very silly. But they have this is a problem for Fox News. This narrative is a pain in the ass because their audience knows that China is fucked, and they can't put together why, like, if China wanted Biden and they didn't want Trump, why did they attack us with a bioweapon when Trump was in office? And now that Biden's in there, we're all back to school, we're all going to concerts, and everything's fine again, and China's economy's taking a shit. It really is this is the fix you're trying to. This is what they're trying to do. This segment is designed to remedy that. It's not going to work, but that's what they're doing.
Get ahead of a potential meeting that Putin and President Xi may have.
Oh, now, don't get ahead of that. Is China committing genocide? Oh, come on, people, don't focus on the negative.
We had candid, open conversations, constructive conversations. I was able to explain U.S. policies and our approach to China. What it is not is decoupling or looking to hold back the Chinese economy.
No, it doesn't matter. It never matters.
Also, just for the record, it's exactly that. We're not trying to hold back the economy, not that part, but it is decoupling.
They're convinced that no matter what happens, no matter what China does, we must always and forever maintain good relations with China.
No, we're in the middle of an extraction process, and this is we have to, if a plane is crashed into the ocean and it's floating on the surface of the water, and it's only going to float for so long, and we don't need everybody climbing all over each other and screaming, getting out of the plane. If we pace ourselves and everybody acts normally, we can all get out of the plane before it fucking sinks into the rafts. That's what this is.
Never decouple. Never think about decoupling. Because they would rather have good relations with the CCP than have good relations with the 74 million Americans who voted for Donald Trump.
Should there be a summit? Is that what you're proposing? For the record, technically speaking, Biden gets fewer death threats from the Chinese. Everybody in the United States gets fewer death threats from the Chinese.
Because they like,
which is, by the way, not zero.
The Communist Chinese Party and how they do business better than they like the Trump voters and all their old traditions.
Why? They're almost identical. Xi's built his entire thing on a cult of personality. Trump is envious of it. He wishes he had it.
As long as they can get away with it politically, the establishment will always...
The establishment, guys, it's the establishment. The establishment, like all the people who are in like DC, like working on the government. I mean, it's the government, guys.
...prioritize helping the CCP over helping any of you in Middle America.
One moment, please. Now, this is, in many ways, this is just one of the newest ones. This is it's from August 9th. Blatant economic coercion. China slams Biden's order limiting U.S. overseas tech investment. Biden warned in the executive order that certain American investments may contribute to the development of sensitive technologies and products in countries that develop them to counter United States and allied capabilities. China says the order seriously disrupts the security of the global industrial and supply chains because if they can't steal it, they can't make it themselves. Beijing stopped short of immediately issuing countermeasures because they can't, because the chips they would use to do those countermeasures they no longer have access to. Because of the CHIPS Act. But said it reserves the right to respond. Been a little bit. Has anybody seen it? China sharply rebuked President Joe Biden's long-awaited executive order that limits U.S. investment in technology. This is, hold on, open this up. Where'd you go? Just go to the next thing. I'll just jump to it. White House restricts U.S. investment in some Chinese tech, citing national security concerns. Why? Why would he do that? If he's always siding with China, Laura, why? Why, Laura? Why would he limit tech investment that could possibly tangentially be used, very gently, be used in defense, computers or missile guidance systems or satellites or any of that shit. Why would he do that if he's always siding with China? I know. Because you basically took all of your bullshit talking points about Biden and China that you've had for like the last 2 years that haven't worked out, put them all in a box, shook them up, and then people just pulled out sentences and you just put them in order in this one and just decided to call it a fucking day.
All those lost manufacturing.
I would like to say for the record, the most supportive language towards China that you've heard in this whole thing came from a Republican who wrote an opinion piece in the New York Times.
Jobs, they weren't a mistake. China's spectacular growth over the years, that wasn't a mistake.
Well, our GDP doubled during the same amount of time. Factory workers were hit by it. No question. And there's a bunch of technology that should not have moved over there. But talk to Bush Cheney about that one, I suppose, because they were there for the vast majority of that startup shit. The Obama administration was stuck just trying to manage it, and Apple was dug the fuck in and on its way to $1 trillion evaluation, so nobody wanted to fuck with a good thing. And it was cheap, and Xi Jinping he hadn't taken over yet. When he did, took him a little while to lead up into what his plan was. He did it right in the beginning of the Trump administration, and Trump was like, cool. What, you're going to give me $56 billion in bullshit tariff money? We'll just wink and nod and say you're doing it under duress. You just devalue your currency and just give us a bunch of money, and I'll pay off Midwestern voters like a secondary bribe from China. Cool. We'll pretend we're having a trade war. Nobody will know the difference. Meanwhile, Ivanka can get those trademarks, right?
And China's
Are you liking the cake?
ability to take our technology, threaten our position all over Asia and the rest of the world, that wasn't a mistake.
Oh, so, all right, so Bush Cheney did it on purpose, and I guess Obama was too dumb to look the other way, but then Trump let it go on as well. But Biden passes 2 bills and signs 4 executive orders limiting not just technology, but investment in technology in China for the first fucking time. And that means he's more on the take than Donald Trump, who could have done any of these things, by the way. Trump could have done any of this shit. The CHIPS Act could have been passed during Trump's presidency at any time, just for the record. There's nothing about it that had to do with a particular date. It didn't just become possible February 8th of 2021. Trump could have done it, just like getting out of Afghanistan. There's nothing fucking magic about the year after he was going to leave office the first time when he sets the date, right? There's nothing magic about that date. He could have done it in the middle of COVID. Just didn't. Know why? Didn't give a fuck.
That was all their policy.
Who's they, by the way? And again, this is like the establishment part. Jesus Christ. Xi Jinping's China is different from Deng Xiaoping's China. And even if they were like, well, okay, we're taking it up the ass right now. We really got to pace ourselves because everybody's starving. This is fucked up. Let's play nice and try to build some industry here. That attitude is very different from, say, like the KGB's attitude towards the United States post-1991 collapse of the USSR, dummy, which, like, if you'd asked her back then, she'd been like, high five to Reagan, smooth sailing.
This would still be their policy, by the way, if it weren't for those 4 years of Donald Trump.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, it isn't. If it was, why? Why not go back to it? If the money's there to be made, China's desperate right now. Turn that fucking spigot back on, and you'd definitely triple your money. You'd end up destroying the country in 10 years, and you'd be benefiting from slave labor.
And if they win...
And by the way, if it wasn't for COVID, Trump wouldn't have done half of that shit.
In 2024, I promise you, it will be their policy again.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is the other thing. It may look like right now that Biden's got China over a barrel, but that's just a ploy. A 4-year economy-destroying ploy that sets their technological sector back 2 fucking decades and eliminates their potential to compete in artificial intelligence and 4 nanometer microchips forever. Look, kind of, all right, this is going to drive me crazy. And you guys know, it's like she works my last fucking nerve. Hold on.
And that's the angle.
Oh, yeah, it's the angle. Shut the fuck up. Hold on. Let me show you this real quick. China exports. Let's go. There's just one. Let me do this. And then I'll go to sector. I mean, like, it's odd that they're picking this as their story because it's so fucking bad. Like, it was bad last year, but it's like China's fucked into a cocked hat right now. It's nuts. There we go. Jesus Christ. Like, there's one. Okay. And the, let me get the news on this one. Now, let's remember, before I show you this, if I may, that the case, think about for a moment the case that Laura Ingraham has just made to you about Biden bailing out Beijing and covering their ass. And somebody's throwing money at somebody and nobody can quite tell. It looks like he's handing money to Xi Jinping, but Xi Jinping is saying no, or he's pushing money to Biden or something. It's just, it's a half-assed art. Let's see, let me try the, share, but I want to try to find the newest one. Yeah, this is the most recent, because it's all bad. Here's June. We'll just go to this one. Good Lord. Like, all right, let me tell you now. Yeah, now again, I want you to focus on the premise of what Laura just told you. That Biden is in the tank for Beijing, that he is bailing them out, that everything he said, which was obviously just kind of like baseline diplomatic talk, is him slobbering all over what you know. I again, I'm not going to bring up her and Dinesh D'Souza's sex life, but I'm sure images come rushing back to her when she uses stuff like that. But slobbering all over Xi Jinping and promising stuff when they're not promising anything. I mean, you saw the same tape I did. We just saw it. And we saw her. This is the angle. This is her whole argument. Okay, and this isn't from 2 years ago, and I'm dunking on them because they, they didn't see this coming or whatever. This was posted 3 fucking hours ago. 21,781 people have watched this shit. It was posted 3 hours ago. Some heavy fucking views. People are taking this in. Now, from that, I would like to transition, if I may, with you, to this article. This is August 8. China's exports fall again, imperiling its economic recovery. China's trade numbers dropped in July, according to government data released Tuesday, which, by the way, is always downplayed. So just factor it by 3, 5, or 10, whatever the numbers they give you. China lost 1.9 million people in the reopening to COVID within like 8 weeks. 1.9 million people. There are, even if you don't believe my numbers that it's closer to 20 million during the entire COVID pandemic, during the years, and not this, or you're a little, think the 4,000 number that China kept, or 6,000 that they posted up, and then they shifted to 60,000 because they were like, this is embarrassingly low. Nobody's going to buy this. So they just added a zero to their 6,000 number and rounded it fucking off and just left it there. Even if you think that's a little hinky, they lost 1.9 million people just in like January and February of this year to COVID. I don't want to hear the shit that America has the most COVID deaths. Fuck right off. All right. China's trade numbers dropped in July, according to government data released Tuesday, a sign that the country's economic rebound was lagging despite efforts by officials in Beijing to revive growth. Exports from China, which has the world's second largest economy after that of the United States, no, it does not. More than likely, it is tied with Japan. And Japan has more healthy prospects. Exports from China, which was have now declined for 3 months in a row, while imports have fallen for 5 consecutive months. Where is this? And we don't have to decouple from them. They are decoupling from a functional fucking economy on their own. Second, bring this part up. Pow. 1 second. There we go. Go away. China's too big to fail property giants just the tip of the real estate crisis, as suppliers are being dragged to death. Indebted property developers such as Evergrande and Country Garden owe millions to small companies and their workers, showing how far-reaching the impact has become. Millions of homebuyers who pre-bought property have little recourse but to wait for a turnaround, and the industry insiders say the onus is on Beijing to act. It's not happening. It's not happening. This never, sorry. There is no white horse. There is no rescue coming. Start fucking swimming. If you ask small business owner Bill Yi, the writing was on the wall for China's embattled property sector long before Country Garden said its net losses in the first half of the year would reach 55 billion yuan, 7.6 billion US. Does anybody remember how much the Lehman Brothers collapse amount? How many billions that was? But the ramification of this month's revelation, he said, could be devastating to both market confidence in terms of debt repayments from the nation's major developers to suppliers like himself who are bleeding cash amid China's property crisis. Now, next one. Market views. How low can the Chinese yuan sink? How long will the renminbi, which means the people's money, by the way, or when you're over there, you can say renminbi, but most of the time you say qian, like money, cash. You know, as in, well, 没有钱. I don't have any money. Or if you don't want to be rude and say 太贵了, which sounds like you want to negotiate, which is too expensive. If you're in a store, you just go, oh, wow, Lisa, I'm sorry, 没有钱. I don't have any money with me. The Chinese yuan has been on a weakening path over the last 3 months, testing its weak point against the US dollar at 7.3 back in 2022. This is a result of a sluggish macro recovery in China. These people are adorable. And widening interest rate differentials with the US, pushing the yuan to 7.18 per dollar. The sluggish growth prompted the People's Bank of China to cut the reverse repo rate by 10 basis points to 1.9 on June 13, which fucks banks. This was followed by 2 more cuts on key lending rates on June 19th, indicating the beginning of a monetary easing cycle with stimulus packaged at home. They have deflation and they're going to do quantitative easing, essentially. They're going to release more money into the economy. How'd that, you know how that's going to turn out? Ask Turkey. I just... Sometimes, and you guys know, chat room, you guys know, this is it works my last goddamn nerve. So sorry if I'm hammering it a little too much, but like this is just weak. Yeah, that's the end. And by the way, why is there opening, like the spinning graphic part of the set that you're seeing or whatever, and they made this look like the creation of the Fortress of Solitude a little bit? Kneel before Zod.
Hello, my son. Hidden in the Ingram Angle is the history of your planet Krypton. It is my commandment to you that you fuck with men and their ways as much as possible. Destabilize everything about them. For a weak man is a controllable man. Hello, my son.
All right, it's right-wing safe space. Jesus Christ. Like, just fucking dumb. Meanwhile, and it's, oh wait, hold on. Hold the phone. Audience of House Sparks Megaworldwide, who likes and subscribes it because they know that's the thing to do. You could Brando or Megamind's father like Brandon. I could, that's true. All right. All right. It's so sad because I have my it just looks dirty. I have my it just looks like filth. It's one of those crystals from Krypton. It's the green crystal from Krypton, but I can't show it on the show because of my green screen, which is hilarious. So just so odd. Green is so funny. One of these days, I'll just have an AI background cut out, and it'll be so smart. We won't have to worry about it. But never mind. Call off the dogs. It's all over. South Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I've got to shut it all down because James Comer is on the Joey Pags show, which is where everybody goes to drop the real news. How's the ruble looking lately? Like ass. And yeah, right along with you on. And you know, it's no surprise to anybody that it's you know, that Trump is very upset and freaking out. We're going to look at a couple more of his videos on Truth Social, too, because they're adorable. And
Here I am like an idiot.
Sorry, Joe. That was unfortunate. Sorry. So, the Bidens for selling access. I mean, that's a quote. Now, there's no quote on the bottom part of it that I can see. Maybe it's behind the play button. But House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer with... Guys, it's startling new evidence. Startling. I'm prepared to be scared. I've heard about these recordings that are supposedly coming according to Greg Kelly. I'm super excited to hear them. And thank God they didn't show up in a time when deep fakes of famous people, you know, especially audio ones of the president, are showing up everywhere. Here we go. So this is him on Joey Pags. He's, for those of you who don't know, I think he's like on syndicated right-wing radio, but he's a Trump suck.
Great to have you along for the ride. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Really appreciate having this man back. It is Representative James Comer, the chair.
You look a little tired, and I don't believe
of the House Oversight Committee. Of course, from Kentucky, the 1st District there. James.
What do you mean, a course from Kentucky? Is that an insult? I think that's an insult. I think I'm from Kentucky. What do you mean, a course? We're not all this fucking stupid.
James, how are you? Good to see you again.
I'm doing well.
I'm wearing I got my Apple iPods in to show how I'm fighting the good fight against big tech and woke corporations.
I've heard people call you Jamie. I've heard people call you Jim. Is it Jamie when you're friends?
Yeah, I grew up Jamie. That James was my formal name. I always used it in campaigns, but Jamie is what most people call me.
Really? But you can't do it because Raskin is owned it, I guess. Yeah, I think Comer Pyle works.
I mean, I tried to call you Jamie once. You said, "Listen, we're not friends, so don't do that." And I could. Some people who want.
I love this kind of banter, though. It brings like they're so. You know what I mean? Like it's nice. It's nice that they, you know, they're bonding.
People who think they know you call you Jim, and I'm like, nobody calls him Jim. I don't think that's the case.
No. Most people just yell, "Hey, dipshit!" He gets it. He knows who you're talking to.
Let's talk about the aliases of the president that we now know about. 5,000 emails or something. Mm-hmm. What is it? What is his name? Peters? Robert Peters or something? Who's this guy?
Robert L. Peters is Joe Biden, and there's a J.B. Ware and another pseudonym. They're
J.R.B. Ware, as in Joseph Robinette Biden, and the joke is beware. They're just making a joke. They had to make up. It's an email address. It's not a personality. He didn't wear a fucking false mustache. Like, Hunter, Jill, I'll be right there. Just 1 second. I have to answer some emails. It's me, J.R. Beware. I'm here doing a show. Yeah. There's my English will not be typed very well because I commit to the character. I'm putting this in here. Yes, I am J.R. Beware. Haha, come on.
Maybe more, but these are the 3 that we found thus far.
Thus far, he's very. I love this man's English. He is so strong. You know, this is the strength that he has. I wish thus far. I feel like, you know, that's a good name for my autobiography. J.R. Beware. Thus far. Yes. That kind of a title works really well when you're doing the audio book. The audio book. The audio book. It's the laundress mats.
And we've determined that there are 400 emails.
Determined? They're in the archives, dumb fuck. They're government property. No one gives a shit. You might as well be telling us how many fucking spoons are in the fucking silver in the dining room at the White House. That's how many there are. Nobody gives a shit. Why don't you just count the fucking fleur-de-lis in the carpet while you're at it?
To those 3 pseudonyms alone.
Wow. And those emails are from what I understand, and correct me if I get this wrong,
I'm gonna. What do you think? Probably gonna.
Representative. It sounds like he was doing things from his government email address and then going to some off-government email address, changing to a pseudonym, and then somehow conversing with his son. Do I have that right?
No.
Well, he was using the pseudonyms for government emails.
Really?
And
yes. All right. How are these people this fucking dumb? Do you actually think that the president's email is Barack H. Obama at whitehouse.gov, you dumb fuck? Yeah, that's his government email, and he's got to use it. That's legally that they can. Nobody will spam that. Nobody knows the president's full fucking name. He's got Joe.Biden at whitehouse.gov. That's the only one he's allowed to use. Hey, who cares if it fills up with like 6 trillion emails a day because of attacks by dedicated denials of service and all that kind of. I don't know. Do they actually think they use their real one ever? Let's hold on. There might. I'll bet you anything. Let me show. I got to see it. Hold on. I want to check something. Let's go to. Let's see. Contact. What's his? Let's see. Contact. Where is it? Email. Let's see. How am I supposed to get? Okay, offices. There you go. Yeah, he doesn't even list it. He's probably hiding it, I guess, from everybody. Let's see. What's the how about this? What do you think it is? Comer at house.gov? Whatever. Email address. There you go. It's by James Comer. There's his contact, Honorable James Comer. That's his website. Is his phone number. Clerk. Okay. There's the clerk at the house.gov. Here it is. Overview. Contact. Let's see. Overview and contact. Honorable James Comer. There's his phone number. Website is there. Link. Email. Let's just click on the email. What happens? I'll open up. Let's hold on one second. Go to me for 1 second. Go to Google Chrome. Okay. And then when you go to that, you fucker. Just take me to the links. Take me to the links. Here we go. He goes by his prison number. It's clerk.house.gov/members/C0D1108. Right. So obviously, he's living under a numerical pseudonym.
We found one email thus far that he copied Hunter on, and it was a big one. It was about Ukraine at the same.
No, it wasn't about Ukraine. He had a phone call on the Friday. It was his schedule for the weekend because it was the 1-year anniversary of his dead fucking son. Oh, God. Nobody has pointed this out to him? 1 second.
Thank you for calling the Washington, D.C. office of Congressman James Comer, representing the 1st Congressional District of Kentucky. If you are a resident from outside the 1st Congressional District of Kentucky calling with regard to Congressman Comer's work on the Oversight Committee, please press 1. If you are a resident of the 1st Congressional District of Kentucky and know your residential address in the district, please press 2. If you are not a resident of the 1st Congressional, thank you for calling the Republican staff of the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. If you would like to speak to the majority staff, please press 1. If you are calling for the committee's minority staff, please press 2. To leave a comment for the committee, please press 3. To repeat, thank you for calling. Please leave a comment at the tone. I'm sorry, but that mailbox is full.
Now I gotta write a goddamn letter. You know what? I'm coming to DC next month. I'm gonna talk to somebody in person. If I can fuck. I'm going to bring a goddamn calendar with me with the try to get me out of you. Take it easy, Colonel. I'm all right. It's full. Believe me, I understand that it's full. When I go to DC for my birthday, I'm gonna go down to the Capitol, and I'm going to be on a mission. And I'm going to approach one of these people, and tell them that the reason he was CC'd on that particular email, why Hunter was because it had the president's schedule for the following Monday, which was the 1 year anniversary of Bo's death. All right, I'm fine. I can continue. I'm all right.
Same time that Devin Archer testified that the owners of Burisma were squeezing Hunter to call Washington for help. It's at the same 24-hour time period.
And they didn't get it.
That he's copied on an email.
No, it isn't.
So it looks to me like he called Washington for help, and they copied Hunter on an email to basically tell the owners of Burisma help is on the way. And sure enough, 5 days later, Joe Biden landed in Ukraine and started the process of firing the prosecutor, Victor
No, he didn't.
Shokin, who is investigating Hunter Biden for corruption in Ukraine.
Hold on. Real quick. I mean, it's it's a good point. Hold on. Victor. Let's see. 29th of March 2016 was when he was in office. He was fired on the 29th of March 2016. 5 days later. Okay. There's the let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought. That email. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to show you something in 1 second. Let's see. Hunter CC'd on Biden email Poroshenko. This is the Obama White House. On internals, the Julita, CC on email, about call. Here you go. Okay, this is from Breitbart. Here you go. So this email, dated May 26th, 2016. Okay, let's hold on. Now, you guys, I know a bunch of I'm gonna need your help on this one, obviously, because dates can be difficult. But here's just remember what you just heard from James Comer. Just think back to what you just said, that this email came when he was talking to Poroshenko. It said he was going to talk to Poroshenko on the Friday morning. That he's saying you got to call and get some help, right? But Hunter's saying the guys at Burisma are making him call and get some help from DC. And 5 days later, he would start the process of getting rid of Victor Shokin, right? That's what we heard. Hold on, let's re-clarify this because I think this is kind of important. So run that by me again, fuck face.
5 days later, he
Hold on.
called Washington for helping Hunter.
Do I have that right?
Well, he was using the pseudonyms for government emails.
Really?
And we found one.
Found one. Okay, what happened in the one? When was the one email? Here you go.
Email thus far that he copied Hunter on, and it was a big one. It was about Ukraine at the
It's a big one about Ukraine. Yes, it was a scheduled phone call on the Friday. Right.
same time that Devin Archer testified that the owners of Burisma were squeezing Hunter to.
No, it would be in the same. It would be within a year or two of that. If that's what you mean, it was the same decade. I'll give you that.
Call Washington for help. It's at the same 24-hour time period.
No, it is fucking not. This is super. You're going to enjoy this. I promise. Hang out for a second.
That he's copied on an email. So it looks to me like he called Washington for help, and they copied Hunter on an email to basically tell the owners of Burisma help is on the way. And sure enough, 5 days later, Joe Biden landed in Ukraine and started the process of firing the prosecutor, Victor Shokin.
Okay, so we got that right. That's the time frame. Okay, so Friday, they CC him on this this email. 5 days later, he's in Ukraine, and he starts the process of getting Victor Shokin, right? Okay, so, all right. When did the email come? The email that they're talking about was dated May 26th, 2016. That's the date of the email. There it is, right there. May 26th, 2016, okay? May, March, April, May, June, July, August, May, right? May. We know what May is. We're good. May 26th, 2016. Again, Beau Biden died on May 30th of 2015. This is on that year. It was the anniversary would have been on a Monday, I believe, and so part of him going into the weekend on that Friday call CC'd Hunter, who was coordinating the family and blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. But it had Poroshenko's name at the top of it. But the important thing is that he says he CC'd 8:45 a.m. prep for 9 a.m. call with President Poroshenko. Then we're off to Rhode Island for infrastructure event, and then Wilmington UDEL commencement, which is what, and then he's going to stay the rest. Nate will have your draft remarks delivered later tonight. Press clips in the morning, and then it had his full schedule for the next 5 days attached to it as a addendum. Okay, cool. You got that? Got it. All right. May 26, 2016. All right, we're good. Yep. Again, this is the 30th is the 1 year anniversary of Beau Biden's death. So 5 days later, after this email, right? That's what he said. 5 days after this, which would be the day after the 1 year anniversary of Beau's death, he went to Ukraine and he started the process of firing someone who was fired on the 29th of March, 2016. Again, the email itself dated May 26, 2016, so that he could start the process of firing someone who was fucking fired 2 months earlier, almost to the day. Look, there's dumb in this fucking world, but this is amazingly stupid. Listen, asshat, get your staff to work out a calendar with some sort of like color code. Because this is totally fucking inverted. And he's saying it, and Pags, if you ever see this clip, you're a fucking dipshit. Because again, who's the bigger fool? The fool or the fool who follows him? You let this asshole drag you by the nose into this incredible... You're kidding. He used a different name than his real name on White House on emails? Dear God. Doesn't matter. The emails happened after the fucker was fired. What was he doing? Calling to apologize? Fucking shit. I mean, this is... This is one of my favorite dunks ever, I think. This might be, I mean, granted, it's Comer. It's fucking easy, but wow. This dude gives Trump a run for his money.
Here I am like an idiot.
Jesus Christ. That was clear, right? That was like, I clarified that moment. Everybody's clear on what this asshole is, like, just how discombobulated this entire thing is. I explained it very well. Like, and now I want to remind anybody who sees this clip or passes it along or sees this shit come back up again, like, hey, he was talking to Hunter about fired this guy, and fired this guy. The dude was fired 2 months before that email. Fucking dipshit. Next thing, why don't you tell me what was illegal about Biden meeting some of Hunter Biden's business associates for fucking dinner in 2017 when he was no longer president and wasn't planning on running ever again? As a private citizen. Want to talk about big government? Fuck is the government's business if anybody has a business meeting? I'm dead serious. Where the fuck is the Republican Party on this? Lord almighty. All right, so I'm kind of, can we just, like, I'm done with the Comer clip because there's not going to be any more to that. It's dead in the water. It's kind of like that plot point in that Rob Reiner brings up, why Psycho, the movie, ends in the first 20 minutes. There's no movie there. Because, the whole, like, she's stealing money and going to meet her lover, and she's just got to drive and meet him at the border, and then they're going to go to Mexico, and they'll be fine, and she knows the cops are after her, and all she's got to do is meet her lover, and she pulls over because she's getting tired. She stops at the motel, and she asks him behind the counter, how far to Victorville, where she's going to cross over the border, and he says 20 miles, and you're like, 20 miles? It's 100. I'd fucking say, yeah, take a nap and a shower and start fresh in the morning. But 20, the cops are on your trail. Get in the fucking car and keep driving. Ask if there's a diner where you can get a cup of coffee and get the fuck. What are you, nuts? You're on the lam, lady. At that point, now I'm rooting for you to get killed because nothing worse running around out there than stupid criminals. It just makes life harder for the rest of us. Joe and Hunter have been caught selling influence to the Chi-Coms? What's the Chi-Coms? The Chinese communists? How do you... They're selling their influence to them? So so China's paying Biden to influence them? All right. Let's settle this. Here you go. Biden... This is Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin, who, if you need a... this is the guy who says he's in a border state. Canadian border, but whatever. Contributing to U.S. destruction with China, GOP rep. This is okay. So tell us about how he's selling us down the river with China. Here we go. Same fucking argument. We may bail on this because this is so stupid.
We want a dynamic trade relationship, but we want one that serves American workers and businesses and that's in our interest. And in order for that to happen, there have to be some changes.
Wait a minute. Why wasn't this clip played on Laura Ingraham's show? Clearly, this flips the narrative on its head. This doesn't look like cockslobber. What in the world?
Because U.S. business, in many cases, patience is wearing thin. U.S. business needs to see some action taken to address these issues. Otherwise, they will deem it as just too risky. And as I said, uninvestable. What it is not.
And as I said, uninvestable. That's the second time, apparently, in that speech where she used the word uninvestable talking about the Chinese economy.
Is decoupling or looking to hold.
Yes, there was Tom earlier. If you didn't see the Laura Ingraham clip, she was making cockslobber analogies.
Hold back the Chinese economy.
That was Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo wrapping.
Oh, it's Maria. How do you fuck up a math problem with Maria?
Up her 4-day trip to China yesterday, urging Beijing to take action in addressing the recent raids and fines on U.S. businesses. She also says decoupling from China is not our economic or national security goal in the United States. I spoke with former U.S. Trade Rep.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just admit to it and and then have them overreact and make it harder for you to leave. I mean, this takes me back to those one moments where you're just like, okay, cool, I understand. You're the one with the gun, but whatever. I really have to piss. I'm not going anywhere. There's obviously, I can't fit through the window in the bathroom. Can I piss? Because I don't want to piss here, and DNA being what it is, you don't need that kind of trouble. It's the bathroom. I'm not going to do anything, whatever, but close the door out the window because I know it's already open.
Representative Bob Lighthizer about this yesterday, and here's where he came out on it. Watch.
We have to have a phased-in, clear policy of strategic decoupling. We have to disentangle our technology.
Yeah, we do have that. If you have all right, and Lighthizer's not stupid, and he's just a Republican, and he's selling, expertise on his end. If you have a phased in or a phased out, I suppose, decoupling plan, do you announce it? Do you, right? Do you announce even the segments of it? You go, okay, or do you pass bills like the CHIPS Act? And then you do the executive order on investment, right? And then you keep moving the goalpost until you're already out the fucking door. Or do you just wear a sign like, we're in the process of secretly decoupling, so try and steal as much of our shit right now anyways, because the party's over. Like, I don't know what the fuck. These are from the people who supported Donald Trump, and he's like, I'm not going to tell you what my military plan would be because I don't want them to know what I would do. Do you really have a plan? Not really, but it's better that they think my brain is a fucking bag of cats.
So the future technology is not dependent. Our defense industry is dependent on China. And the third part of strategic decoupling.
Okay. One second. Let's see. Let's go to here, and then we'll go. This one, and there we go, and this one, and that guy, and this one, and I mean, fuck it. There's too many. Honestly, there's too many to even cover. This is from Defense Scoop. Biden issues executive order aimed at undermining Chinese military modernization by regulating U.S. investment in 3 critical technology areas. The Biden administration's moves to take on China. This is from Brownstein. The past decade has seen a pattern shift in how the U.S. views China, and our corresponding actions have changed U.S.-Sino relationships from competition to adversarial. The U.S. believes China has acted counter to global economic, political, and diplomatic norms, and the international community has taken notice on how the communist power has utilized its large military, vast technological advancements, and invasive surveillance operations to bully its neighbors and infringe on the human rights of citizens. The United States has taken direct action across multiple administrations and industry sectors to try and rein in its rival international superpower to varying degrees of impact. This is the single biggest impact so far. Fact sheet: executive order addressing the threat from securities investments into that finance certain companies of the People's Republic of China. This is from the White House. Biden administration revises and expands restrictions on U.S. persons' investment of in Chinese companies, releases new list of Chinese military companies under 2021 NDAA Section 1260H. So you can't invest in the companies that they've added, and they keep expanding it. Think of this as a sanctions list, not that different from the one against Russia, but instead of purchasing or interaction, it's direct investment. Supply chain. Biden's chip battle with China picks up steam as allies buy in. Oh wait, they didn't start this. I thought Beijing had something on Biden, and they had to drag him kicking and screaming. This wasn't Macron's idea. Continue with support. Oh, get out of here. You've already reached your article. Anyways, you can see the title is Biden supply chain strike force to target China on trade. By the way, Lighthizer knows all this stuff. Lighthizer is not a dumb guy. He's just selling. He wants to go harsher even than that because he's not in there, so he doesn't have to negotiate. If he was in there, anybody remember Lighthizer during the Trump administration? Anybody remember any of his speeches or any of his conversations? Genuinely, did you ever remember him being? Did you ever see him on Fox News? I've seen him a few times, but pretty minor. You know why? Because he was busy negotiating this shit and he knew to keep his fucking mouth shut at the time. Now he's not doing it, so now he's just an opinion wonk.
It has to be outgoing and ingoing investment. It can only...
Look at it down. That's weird. Trade deficit with China is down. That's weird. It's down? That's weird. It's down. Those red triangles, what are those, Maria?
Be in situation.
Look at what's the green triangle right over here? Look at this Dow at 35. I thought it was... I can't believe it, but I undersold Biden's stock market right now. I said 35 and change.
Where it helps the United States. It's the capital markets, but it's also these individual investors.
Yeah.
We should have a clear policy where if they invest here, it's in our interest.
Joining me right now is Wisconsin Congressman. He is House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party's chairman, Mike Gallagher. Mr. Chairman, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Do you speak Chinese? Have you ever been to China? Do you know anything about this? Nope, never mind. I've got a Gadsden flag pillow duct taped to the wall behind me. That's all I need to know.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I was just reading your op-ed.
She's your mom?
And it is an important one, so I want to make sure to raise this right away because you write in the Washington Post, Americans are unwittingly financing the CCP. It has to stop. What?
Where was this during Trump? It is stopping, you dumb son of a bitch. It is stopping. All right. Do I have to go look if this motherfucker signed on to the CHIPS Act? Oy. Gonna make it. I'm gonna.
Walk us through how we're doing that.
Well, first, let me say that Ambassador Lighthizer is absolutely right. We need to strategically decouple. That was a bypass.
Okay, this is it. Americans are unwittingly financing CCP. It has millions of Americans have become financial backers of the CCP without knowing it. Their savings are funding companies that build weapons for China's People's Liberation Army. Mike Gallagher, August 29th. All right, let's see it. Wrote it in the Washington Post. Let's give it a look. Let's give it a look-see. There's a nice quote in there. Americans are unwittingly financing the CCP. There we go. Oh, that's his shit. Where's the article on it? I don't want the freaking. Okay, his is. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at the picture they use. What a bunch of assholes. Hold on, I'll show you. There you go. Look at that. Fucking Ben Franklin with red and the. Getting aggravated. It's an aggravating kind of a Thursday. It just is. I'm okay. I'll be all right. Do you want your pension paying for China's aircraft carriers? Should your university's endowment be underwriting the Chinese Communist Party's genocide against the Uyghur people? Would you like your retirement savings to be powering the CCP's techno-totalitarian surveillance state? Then vote for Donald Trump 2024. I don't give a fuck who he raises as VP. He doesn't need a VP. I'll be it, but nobody cares. All right, no. These aren't hypothetical questions. Millions of Americans have become financial backers of the CCP without knowing it. Their savings are funding companies that build weapons, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this month, Biden administration took a first crack at the problem. Really? Really? This dude? She's bringing him on to talk about this, and it's a fucking... He has to go straight to the yeah, but, like, Paragraph 2, fucking hell. And a long-awaited executive order. Oh yeah, long-awaited because nobody. You know why he's saying long-awaited executive order? Because he waited the entirety of the Trump administration. The president directed the Treasury Department to issue rules restricting some U.S. investment in Chinese companies working on artificial intelligence, semiconductors, quantum computing. It's a good first step, but it should not be the last. It's not going to be. Earlier this summer, alongside Rep. Raja Krishnamurti, Illinois, the ranking Democrat on the House Select Committee on the CCP, I began investigating major U.S. investment companies and venture capital firms for funding Chinese companies that the U.S. government blacklisted because of national security are troubling. Financial giants such as MSCI and BlackRock funnel U.S. money to companies that produce the CCP's military aircraft, its aircraft carriers, its aerospace technology, its artillery shells, and even its advanced nuclear technology. These firms are not alone investment in the problematic Chinese companies and rampant across Wall Street and Silicon Valley. Famously places, by the way, that were very Republican for a good long while, and then have slowed down or stopped their investment in these things as they've shifted blue, I think is the idea. We're quite literally funding our own potential destruction, and the executive order, while well-intentioned, won't stop it. It is up to Congress to erect strong, enduring guardrails around outbound investment in China. Then do it, motherfucker. He shouldn't have to do an executive order. You guys have a whole fucking committee and you're behind Joe Biden? I thought he was slow. Isn't he slow? If he's slow, but he's ahead of you, what does that make you? It's just, I'm fine. It's okay. I'm doing fine. All right.
Partisan agreement about a year and a half ago, but then the Biden administration decided that was too mean to China. So instead, we're going to diversify or de-risk or whatever the latest D word is. But part of it, no matter where you fall on the decoupling versus de-risking, I think everybody should agree that we shouldn't be allowing American money to flow into Chinese military companies. And that's what's happening, primarily through passive investments, through ETF, through various indexes. Our investigation of BlackRock and MSCI revealed that American money is going to Chinese military companies that are building things like aircraft carriers.
Right. By the way, all free trade, all, stuff that Republicans normally push for and would file under none of your fucking business.
Fighter jets, artillery shells, advanced nuclear technology. Incredibly, this is not illegal, but it is in some meaningful sense suicidal because we're subsidizing our own destruction. We need to stop.
Then craft a bill and send it to the president's desk and stop bitching about the stuff that he's already done within the limits of his abilities as the president of the United States. Because I guarantee if he pushed his EO any further, the White House would get sued, the Republicans would look the other way as it fucking happened, and ultimately nothing would change. All of it would go down.
Stop the flow of U.S. capital to companies that are building things designed to kill Americans in a future conflict.
For the record, not us. They're designed to kill Africans and Taiwanese people and some people in Hong Kong, and then eventually Vietnam. It'll be a long time before they get around to us. I'm just saying.
Or maybe pointed at Americans right now in the Indo-Pacific.
Yeah, and we've been talking about this now for several years.
Yes, I recognize that none of what you say actually reflects current reality.
Because I've been pointing out the thrift fund, which, of course, is the 401k for government employees. How insane is it that government employees, including military, are actually, enabled?
Because they do an index fund. Something that you have. She's got an index fund. He might have, I don't know what his investments are, and he might have, because he's in office, he might have put it into trust and let somebody else run it or whatever. She's got a fucking index fund. That means you get a little bit of everything. You're following the entire market. Good Lord.
To invest in Chinese military and in enlarging their military. Right now, they've got a larger Navy than the United States does.
It's gonna be. She says they're trying to kill me. That's where they know I'm tired, and I drove back from L.A. and I was exhausted already, and they knew it. They know it. She knows it. Dogs know it. They're trying to upset me. This is February 2023. Here we go. Now, I'm going to show you an article. Understand that the Navy commander is always going to say we need more stuff. That's just true. America versus China. Who stands where? As U.S. Navy Secretary says it can't keep up with Beijing. China has overtaken the United States when it comes to the sheer size of its Navy. While the People's Liberation Army has around 340 ships, the U.S. Navy has under 300 ships. They have 340. We have 300. Just under. But experts say U.S. remains ahead in key metrics. Yes, we'll look at that. Shall we? The absolute, where's the... There it is. DW quoted Center for International Maritime Studies saying that the Chinese Navy in its entirety was under 2 million tons, while the U.S. was over 4.5 million tons. One reason is due to the U.S. having 11 aircraft carriers, more than the other top 5 nations combined. In this photo, the Xinhua News Agency colored smoke marked the launch of the third aircraft carrier, christened Fujian, at a dry dock in Shanghai, where it sits to this day with a giant fucking crack in the top of it. I'm not kidding. They have 3. That's the third one. It cracked when they lowered it into the water, so there's a crack across the center of it. And the second one that they have, both of them are former Soviet ones. They're first 2, both Soviet class ones that they bought or were gifted. And the second one they turned into a hotel. I'm not kidding. And then they recommissioned it from being a hotel. Yeah. PLA Navy, 340 vessels. U.S. Navy, 297. Pentagon wants 350 by 2045. PLA should have 420 by 2025 and 460 by 2030. But between 2014 and 2018, they launched more ships than Germany, India, Spain, UK combined. That's because Germany, India, Spain, and UK launched almost no ships because our ships protect their waters. Good Lord. Bretton Woods, anyone? Anyone? It's starting to stack. It really is. Don't get worried, kids. I'm very excited. I enjoy my job and I'm having a good time, but fuck these idiots.
But I want you to talk a little about this idea of
Hello, bullshit.
decoupling. How do you view this, Congressman, in terms of the risks to America?
Bullshit.
We know how dependent the U.S. is on China. We know all of those supply chains, that we actually have to rely on the Chinese Communist Party to get the underlying active ingredients for our prescription drugs. So decoupling.
No. All right, this is a zombie lie too. Hold on one second. I gotta shut my door so the cats don't. No, we don't. No, we fucking do not. We need a new hello bullshit. Right. Hello bullshit. No, we don't. We choose to get them from China because they're a lot cheaper. That's not the only place we can get them. We can get them from a bunch of other places. We can get them from India. We can get them from Europe. There's a lot of suppliers. There are a lot of places we can get all these underlying chemicals and these actual drugs. We get them from China because they're cheap. That's it. Because the manufacturing is cheap. That's it. It's like the rare earth minerals argument. Rare earth minerals are not all minerals, for one, and they're not particularly rare. The only thing is that a lot of them are produced when you make other shit, which is particularly toxic. And the only thing that's rare is places on Earth that are still okay with poisoning their people while they make lots of this stuff quickly.
What does that mean in terms of the risk, the threat to America, at least over the short term?
Right. And I will say, while she is completely and blatantly and ridiculously full of shit on this talking point, she does bring up something in this conversation where she just knifes the tires of her own argument right here. Because right now she's saying, we need all this stuff from them. We get all this stuff from them. We don't, but she believes this. We need to get all this stuff from them. So how do you decouple instantly if you need stuff from them? You either have to admit we don't, but getting it somewhere else is expensive and that's all. Or you go, we need it now. We could get it somewhere else, but there will be a transition where we fucking have to move. And so we don't want to move too quickly where we, they recognize that we're pulling the rug out from under them and they react.
Well, imagine if we did find ourselves in a kinetic confrontation with China over, say, Taiwan. Let's say Xi Jinping tried to invade Taiwan.
Right. We would block the Strait of Malacca and a famine would hit China and kill half the population in under 90 days.
Well, the Chinese Communist Party could decide to cut off the export of advanced pharmaceutical ingredients.
Yeah, and we would get them from India. Like what? This motherfucker. Name one. Don't just say advanced pharmaceutical ingredients. Name one. And if this motherfucker says lactose,
as indeed they threatened to do at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. So when Americans access to life-saving drugs,
they did that at the beginning. The beginning, you say. So they said that at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. Okay. So they said that at the. So in the beginning, okay, I think this has got to be, let's see. Is this in here? Whatever, this up. 1 second.
The WHO willingly took China's assurances to face value, and they took it just at face value, and defended the actions of the Chinese government, even praising China for its so-called transparency. I don't think so.
Okay. Right. I don't think so. And then, hold on, let me scoot forward on this because they're going to play this piece, right? Oh, go ahead, will you? That's his. Yeah, there's his text. Hold on. I want to play the video of it, not the. I need the free video of him actually saying it. Hold on. Oh yeah, cutting people. I got to go to YouTube to get this, man. That's the only way we're gonna be able to do it, y'all. Come on now. Hit it. Okay. Let's see. Trump raises Xi China COVID 2020. Something like that. Right? Mm-hmm.
Mr. President, you mentioned the drop of spread in China coronavirus cases. Is the U.S. government considering evaluating?
Is China a world power? Not
Lei.
according to Chen Zhongling, the dean of Chongqing University.
No.
Mr. President, you mentioned the drop of spread in China coronavirus cases. Is the U.S. government considering evaluating similar measures in the U.S. in case the situation gets
Some
worse?
measures, we've been in very close contact with China, including myself with President Xi. He very much wanted this to happen. He wanted this to get out and finished and be done. He's been working very, very hard, I can tell you that. And they're making a lot of progress in China. You probably saw Starbucks are now opened again. You probably saw that, as I mentioned, Tim just came out and he said Apple is back to normal in terms of production in their facilities in China. They've made a lot of progress.
And that's from the CCTV, by the way. That's a Chinese state
you
media
mentioned the drop of
site.
spread in China coronavirus cases.
For the record.
Is the U.S. government?
There you go. Yeah, Tim Apple. That's who he was talking about. Where's my Tim Apple go? I don't know.
They're going to be a country no more. I actually think it will not. It will be a country no more.
I agree. I think. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but anyways, so where were we? Oh yes. Yeah, this dickhead. There you go. Like I got so many open tabs with all these idiots. Yeah, sorry. So China was doing a great job. Early 2020, you say?
Is threatened things are going to get very tricky very quickly. So strategic decoupling is in our interest in order to reduce the coercive economic leverage.
That's right. Thank you, CSL. Bless you. Bless you for this. One of our favorites. I don't know if this is one of the clips that I just, when we found this the first time, when I was watching through this, and I was like, you what now? This COVID documentary on Sky News Australia, God bless them for, trying to do all this to push back on this stuff. And they interviewed Trump, and they got to this part of the thing. Now, there's a part in here. It's around here, I think. Let's go down to this part. Where is he? Trump over here. And they go to it's way down in here. Yeah. This one.
A bureaucratic kind of a guy, a very great promoter. I give him an A+ as a promoter and probably a C or a D as a doctor.
We now know from emails that have been released under the Freedom of Information Act that he was getting his advice from at the same behind the scenes in email.
They're developed one way or the other. I just wanted to stop it. With them, certainly. And
was having discussions about whether this might have been genetically manipulated. Does that shock you?
Shocking.
Well, he was dealing with them, certainly, and my thing was a little bit different. I just wanted to stop it. Whether it developed one way or the other, I just wanted to stop it.
No, bad. Don't. I was saying words like that. No, loud noises.
But it's important to know where it came from. It's extremely important to know how it developed.
Fauci was dealing with them, and I guess they were even making payments for certain kinds of research. And I ended that too. I stopped that. When we found out about that, he was doing that during the Obama years. And when I found out about it, I said, can you imagine that the United States is making payments to a Chinese lab? So just that.
By the way, the payments we were making to the Chinese lab was for security. That's what he cut.
That on his face didn't make sense, but I stopped that.
The Obama administration did hit pause on gain-of-function research, though, and that was lifted under your watch.
What?
Why did you...
Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, ring, bonk. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum. That's one of my favorite moments.
Function research, though, and that Obama administration did hit pause on gain-of-function research, though, and that was lifted under your watch. Why did you allow the gain-of-function research to continue?
Well, I think probably people that worked for me looked at it and...
the best people.
At one point, they might have done that, but ultimately, what we did was we shut it off. We shut the whole thing off, and we stopped making payments that were approved much earlier than our administration.
For security, not for research. You get that? We're clear, right? Obama administration stops gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab and anywhere in the world, by the way. The U.S. will not fund it anymore. And the funding that we will give to places is not for actual research, it's for security, to make sure that pathogens at these places, that they upgrade their systems so that these pathogens don't get out. And this motherfucker came into office, let people continue gain-of-function research, and then cut off the security financing, the funding, to make sure these pathogens don't get in the wind. Sorry, but please, asshole, tell me about how something Biden, something China, we're doing something for China.
Do you
this ass hat? Oh, I love that.
TCP could wheel.
I love that. And Texas Paul's going to be on tomorrow morning. Excellent. And then Boston Brian's going to join us in the bottom half of the first hour, the half hour point in the first hour of our first hour on the radio on Saturday. If that's cool with everybody, that'd be really fun. It's cool.
In order to bring us to our knees. Now it has to be selective. We have to identify the areas where clearly we can't afford to be dependent on China. We're going to have some economic relationship going forward. But
right. Yes, that's exactly that's what's happening, fuckhead. This is another thing, like Republicans just wanting credit for what Dems have already done. This is the Chinese economic diplomacy version of this asshole showing up at a ribbon cutting for an infrastructure project he voted against.
That's why it's imperative. And I just would say to the business community, which really resists this idea, in addition to being more
business community, big Democrats across the board,
morally reprehensible, some of these investments in China have just been terrible investments. If you look at just the last 5 years, the S&P 500 has soared 78%, but BlackRock's FXI ETF, which invests in some of these large cap Chinese companies, is down 30% in that same time period, even as Chinese GDP supposedly doubled. So where did the money go? Why did it evaporate? We just need to look at the risks, honestly assess the risks.
You mean like de-risk? Like use a phrase like de-risk? I mean like the Obama administration, the Biden administration is using de-risk, like they're saying, fuck, this is so fucking lame. Good Lord, man. Just congratulate the Biden administration and say we have I have some strategic ideas because I'm a Republican that are different from how they would do it, and I would do this a little, I do more of this than you know what I mean? Like, this dude just wants to be a dick. That's it.
Of doing business in China in addition to strategically decoupling.
It's such a great point, really important.
And what do you mean it's such a great point? It's exactly what the Biden administration is saying, you tit. Good Lord. He is quoting verbatim the clips that Laura Ingraham was showing of our economic team. Good fuck, what the shit? Strategic decoupling sounds like my divorce. It sounds like what eagles do when they're done fucking.
BlackRock get this? Why is
Does BlackRock get this? Does Wall Street get this? Does like all these people that I normally like love to be I need to get really close to and like hang out with at these fucking New York parties? Did they get this? Did they get this? Who gives a fuck? The Biden administration is writing executive orders that limit their investment, period, end of story. The Congress can go further, they have to do it. And they can't lay it at the feet of Biden because we don't have a supreme executive. We have co-equal branches. Get off your ass and stop blaming Biden for doing something that you haven't done yet. Good Lord.
BlackRock continuing to double down on investing in China?
They're not.
Well, we're hoping to get a fulsome response to the letter that we sent them. And
by the way, that's their stock price, not the amount of money they have invested in China.
MSCI and see their point of view. What I don't understand.
I'm sorry, you want to what? You want to see their point of view?
What I told you, Luke, was true from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view? Shut the fuck up, R2.
That we sent them an MSCI and see their point of view. What I don't understand is why you would have companies in various indexes that are on a government blacklist. I mean, that should just be an easy no-brainer. Even if we disagree about the broader issues of decoupling, don't have a Chinese military company or anything related to the Chinese military in one of your indexes. That should just be an easy.
Well, no, it isn't easy. The military, absolutely. But everything in China is related. Every technological, anything materially will either be funding the government there because they split the companies 50-50, and so they will take some of the money and use it for the military, or it directly is how they steal technology, or they support it through, large computer companies and that kind of shit who do stuff over there, and with the partnership you have to have with the Chinese government. No, it's not easy. It's fucking complicated. This is, I would argue, this is the Republican version of the stroke of the pen fallacy. It's fucking easy. You just don't give any money to the fucking, I don't know what the problem is. Hey, I gotta tell you, so don't give money to the fucking Chinese government. They own half of every fucking company, dummy. Any company that makes even rudimentary chips for toys is gonna be linked to the military somehow. Mattel's investment in its own factory benefits the Chinese military. And I would say that it's not fair. The PLA, the People's Liberation Army, is not the Chinese military. It is the army of the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party has its own private army. That's what the PLA is. It is not the Chinese army. Well, America has an American army. UK has the British Army and Navy and all that shit. France has its Army and Navy. They represent, their soldiers swear an oath to the Constitution to protect and defend the country. The PLA does not. It protects the party. It's a very distinct difference, which is why the PLA can be used to patrol the streets in the country, because they do not represent the people of the country. They represent the party in power.
Easy area where we can clean up our system right now.
But doesn't this start from the top? This starts with the Biden administration. I mean,
It did start with the Biden administration, you dumbass. He wrote an executive order, one that Trump could have written but didn't.
I put this to Jamie Dimon a couple of years ago, the CEO and chairman of JP Morgan. And I said to him, why, you're Jamie Dimon. You should not, you're making a statement by investing and doubling down in China. And he said, look, Maria, we're going to follow the law. The law is the law.
No, get the fuck out of here. The law is the law. Look, legally, you have to be able to, if I provoke somebody, threaten them, tell them I'm there to kill them and all that kind of stuff, and then as they draw, I shoot them dead. Technically, I defended myself as long as there's nobody else around, and I shoot them 3 times and they're dead. So I'm just following the law, which is no witness, no foul. Is effectively the law. Like, it's my word against a reasonable doubt. The law is reasonable doubt. So if I can kill somebody and there's reasonable doubt, I'm just following the law. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I am the law.
If we are allowed to invest and try to sell our wares to 1.4 billion people, we're going to do it. So doesn't this start at the top? And yet you have Gina Raimondo over there at the podium in Beijing saying, things have got to change. I'm sure the Chinese are shaking in their boots after that speech. In the meantime, Meta...
What the fuck is the difference between what she said and what you guys have been saying? Literally, they have both been saying the same fucking thing. This asshole just even said, we're going to have to sit down with BlackRock and MSCI and see, what their particular needs are. What?
Just announced it shut down what's being called the largest known online covert influence operation in the world. Meta announced it removed more than 7,700 Facebook and Instagram accounts linked to Chinese law enforcement. The campaign was aimed at advancing China's...
Right. And the FBI and the CIA helped them. But you guys don't want the FBI to actually talk to them. They also stopped a bunch of human trafficking on there as well. And they stopped fentanyl sales on Snapchat, getting to children. The FBI helped Snapchat with that as well. But you motherfuckers want to pass a law that says they can't even talk to social media. Because we're all supposed to just put on our naivete hat and clutch our fucking pearls and go, oh my God, if the FBI, what if they read my DMs? They need a warrant to read your fucking DMs, dum-dum. But they're not interested in you. They don't give a shit. Unless you've got a kid in your fucking basement that isn't yours and they're not, gaming or something. I don't know what your kid does in your basement, but you know what I mean.
Interest, discrediting adversaries. This operation impacted more than 50 apps dating back to 2019, Congressman.
Do anybody remember who was president in 2019? So wait, let me get this straight. So it started in 2019 when Trump was making a deal with China. He was making a bunch of deals with China. And they just did this huge, it was a huge operation. It dates back to at least 2019. I see. And then so Trump was president when it started and as it ramped up. And then who's president when it ended? Does anybody know? I need a fucking calendar.
So how come we're not seeing any response from the administration? Does this not start at the top?
The top of what? Okay, hold on one second. Now, I just have my little show here. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Thank you for being here, spending your time with me. I adore you, and I appreciate it more than you know. And Carl and Joyce, it was lovely to have you at the Flapper Show. And Lisa, mi amor, it was lovely to see you as well at the show. It's just so good to see the folks out in the real world doing shows. Just want to say that. But I appreciate you. Just like, subscribe, while you're hanging out. If I may. I think that'll probably do it. see, largest. Um, let's see if the Biden administration, going back to old U.S. strategy. Hold on. It's the Jonathan Ward says Biden administration going back. What the fuck is that? You got like ad on here. Oh my God, it's Maria. I don't need you on there, weirdo. This is what they're talking about. This is the story that they're talking about. If I may, let me go over to here real quick. This Meta's biggest single takedown removes Chinese influence campaign. The campaign began at least 4 years ago and spanned thousands of accounts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Shitter, Substack, and Chinese websites. Meta said anywhere basically Matt Taibbi was. It removed 7,704 Facebook accounts, 954 Facebook pages, 15. By the way, hi Facebook people. Facebook people in the chat who are Facebooking people. Hi, are you there, Facebook people? If you're there, send some stars. Let me know you're there. Let them know you're there. Hello. Thank you. Hi. On February 27th, an article claiming the United States is behind the bombing of the Nord Stream underwater pipeline in the Baltic Sea was published on the Substack and Blogspot blogging platforms within 24 hours. The article and other versions of it had been posted on more websites, including an article. It's weird, just an article. Really? Which article would that fucking be? Gee, couldn't possibly be suspicion multiplies Nord Stream sabotage remains unsolved. That's the okay, unsolved. Lovely. Within 24 hours, the article and other versions of it have been posted to more websites, including Reddit, Medium, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube. Translations into Greek, German, Russian, Italian, Turkish began appearing online. The posts were part of a Chinese influence campaign that stands out as the largest such operation to date. Researchers at Meta said in a report on Tuesday the effort, which the company said had started with Chinese law enforcement, was discovered in 2019, was aimed at had started with Chinese law enforcement and was discovered in 2019. So it was discovered in 2019, and no one did anything about it until the Biden administration was in charge. And it was previous to that, it was up and running. And that during the entire time that Trump was praising China and all that kind of weird. Okay, this is the biggest single takedown of a single network ever conducted, said Ben Nimmo, who has been found, by the way. Dory, he's been found. Dory, he's been found. He's been found. Don't worry. Yes, he's been found. Who heads Meta security team that looks at global threats. When you put it together with all the activity we took down across the internet, we concluded it's the largest covert campaign that we know of today. And he did it all from his from one of the desks at IKEA that you get if you sit down. They're usually not plugged in, but they are. And good on him for using the actual display port on his computer. Let's see. The Chinese campaign struggled to reach and attract attention. Some posts were riddled with spelling errors and poor grammar, while others were incongruent, such as random links under Quora articles people could see, blah, blah, blah. Yet the operation was being disclosed as at a delicate time in the relationship between the United States and China. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo is in China this week to talk with government officials. The influence operation was the 7th from China that Meta has removed in the last 6 years. 4 of them were found in the last year. Weird that it picked up when Biden got in office. Said the company, which has published details of the new operation as part of a quarterly report. The effort appeared to be to learn and mimic Russian-style influence operations. And let's see, the big accounts frequently posted identical messages on different social media. Yeah, we know this. It was as if they copied them from a numbered list and forgot to proofread before they posted. Yeah, because they can't. In one instance, the operation published a 66-page research paper falsely claiming that COVID had started in the United States. It appeared on the website Zenodo, an online repository for research and academics to upload papers, YouTube, and Vimeo videos, then promoted the research paper along with posts on blogging platforms, including LiveJournal, Tumblr, blah, blah, blah. In June 2020, the network began posting English-language videos on YouTube and TikTok that highlighted racial disparities in the United States in an apparent effort to inflame divisions. Some of those videos went viral. This is kids, I've told you many, many times. This is why we don't chase videos and articles or get allow our empathy to get weaponized against us. You're a good person, and the fact that you care is a good thing, and that means you don't let someone else borrow the talent that you have, the emotional talent that you have, and use it against you. Ever. Just throwing that out there because I like you. All right, back to Maria being full of shit.
It does, but Biden is trying to revive diplomatic and economic engagement with China as the core pillar of his strategy, despite this approach having failed for over 2 decades. Perhaps.
Okay, first of all, no, not as the core pillar. How define core pillar?
It's an effort just to cool temperatures going into the election. He doesn't want to see any economic downturn, or certainly doesn't. They're constantly afraid of provoking the Chinese Communist Party, forgetting that Marxist-Lenin.
What? The fuck? Are you out of your mind? Afraid of provoking the Chinese government? Okay. Let's see. How about this? Let me see if I can find a news story. Yeah, here you go. This is a good way. Sorry. Oh, fuck you, Reuters, weirdo. America take his time showing up to work. Biden should control the. Yeah, here you go. So again, the story is they're afraid that they're gonna piss off China, right? That's the idea. They're afraid to do anything that will piss off China. Biden's chip controls may force Chinese Americans working in China's semiconductor firms to choose between their citizenship or their job. One term in the Biden administration's new controls on semiconductor sales to China would ensnare hundreds of Chinese American tech executives working for the country's tech companies and perhaps force them to choose between their citizenship or their job. It happened. That happened. All those people on a particular day, year ago this month, had to choose between working there and still staying or staying a U.S. citizen, and they dropped what they were doing, and at midnight they couldn't work at that place, and they moved back home. They moved back to the United States. By the way, there's no way this guy and Maria Bartiromo don't know this, so they're both being. This is what you call fake news.
Regimes view concessions like this as appeasement and actually get more aggressive, and we need to maintain the economic and diplomatic and conventional military pressure on them. One point on the
conventional military pressure. So what do we do? Park nuclear subs off their coast? Do some exercises in the waters with our nuclear subs that are armed with nuclear warheads within shooting distance of Beijing, just to let them know we're serious. This dude should fuck Laura Ingraham. They're both ginning for all the shit about Biden starting World War III. These motherfuckers.
Meta story. So this is what the Chinese were trying to do via Meta, but imagine the influence that they already have via a CCP-controlled app like TikTok. This should open our eyes to the danger of allowing TikTok to become even more dominant, perhaps the most dominant media platform in the country. And I know.
Well, no, it's kind of on a fade. It's not doing as well, thank God. But largely because people know that eventually it's going to be banned. It does not honor the rules and laws around user data in the United States that we have. The European unions are way harder than ours are, but as loose as ours are, TikTok and ByteDance, the company that owns it, violate those all the time.
Certain legislators are afraid to do anything on this issue.
Certain legislators? Name some. You mean your Republican colleagues?
But we have to step up on both these issues. We have to put controls and guardrails on U.S. capital going to China, as well as figure out how to prevent TikTok, a CCP-controlled app.
You guys have the House. Republicans have the House. By a hair's breadth, write some fucking legislation. It'll be bipartisan. Now, you'll get more Democratic votes than you will get Republicans, though, ultimately on it. because there's a bunch of them that'll just hold out because Dems are voting for it. So the Freedom Caucus is fucking out. You don't need all of them. You just need another 20 votes or so, and you could pull it off. And the Senate will pass it right through as long as it's written, with something a little more sophisticated than crayons and hammers and your own frozen turd.
From becoming the dominant media company in America.
What?
TikTok is not going to become the dominant media company in America. Ugh.
Was the recent executive order too narrow? Because the Biden administration tries to act like it's doing something, but everyone I've spoken with said that executive order recently limiting some investments in tech doesn't go far enough. It doesn't start for a whole year, and it's ineffective. Why?
Why? Well, because there are legal limits, both in the budgetary cycle and in what the president can do. Can you imagine a situation, Maria? Imagine a situation where the United States of America has a president who, with the stroke of a pen, can determine where companies can invest in the world. They just decide, one day, I mean, talk about graft. Talk about, like, if Trump had the ability to do that without having to pass it through Congress or have it, ratified or be able to fit any kind of, like, I don't know, any of the structured treaties or trade deals we had before under the law of those things. If he could just write up a brand new one and went, no, we're not giving any money to Qatar anymore. Like, Qatar isn't getting any funds. Whatever. Nobody can invest in Qatar anymore. Why? Because I want the Saudis to buy the LIV. I want to go into partnership with the Saudis, and the Qataris are always taking, they're financially doing better. So I just want, I thought I'd help my buddies out in Saudi Arabia by just with a stroke of a pen deciding they're the bad guys now and nobody can invest with them. Can you imagine? I mean, that's Putin level horseshit. And that's what she's asking for.
It has at least two problems, Maria. One is it puts Treasury in the lead with a lot of off-ramps and exceptions. And as you know, Treasury is historically and famously dovish on China. So that doesn't give a lot of confidence.
Hold on. Historically and famously dovish? Motherfucker, the entire system has changed. There is no return on investment anymore. Treasury was dovish because Americans and American companies, but also individuals, were making money hand over fist investing in China. It was a huge boom. They all went there. They're dovish about it because they would have fucking kicked food out of Americans' mouths. Because, again, the trade deficit is about wholesale items. God damn this.
It's the second thing is it tackles only active private investments. So venture capital, private equity, that's about 17% of the total problem. The overwhelming majority.
Right. He can't do the rest. Go write up a fucking bill, dummy.
Majority of this is public investment or passive investment. So if you don't address that issue, you're really not solving the problem. And that
he can't. And if he could, it would fuck our entire country. That's right, CSL. We would become a banana republic. That's how you become a banana republic. You give the president the ability to literally decide who can invest where and with what money by personal fiat.
That's what we need to address via legislation that will last beyond this administration. We in Congress need to step up and legislate a lasting solution.
Right. And while you're at it, shut the fuck up. Stop blaming the Biden administration for doing shit you can't do yourself. I'll tell you what. Come back, Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin, if that is your real name. Come back when you have a bill that addresses all these things, that you have the votes for, that a Democrat is either, I can't imagine why they would stop it in the Senate, but, you can bitch about it then, or Biden vetoes it.
To this issue so that we don't continue to subsidize our own destruction.
And you are stepping up, and we appreciate your leadership, Congressman. Thanks so much.
We want to.
How the fuck is that? He's not stepping up. It's like he's stepping up like this. It's his fault. That's not stepping up. Everybody who thinks they have a solution and a great idea, take one step forward. Not so fast, Gallagher. Stepping flat, right. Right, we have, can I do, I'm going to run out of this. Hold on one second. I want to do one thing. Yeah. let's see. He's got a new one. So, so Trump, for those of you that don't know, we'll do a couple of these on the way out because they're bite sized and it's fun. It's like a Whitman sampler that's going on over at Truth SoCal, where Donald Trump is posting like dozens of videos that he's just fucking cranking out. Now, there's a lot of speculation about why he's doing this. To distract from, dirty up the jury pool or distract from his legal problems or just because he's agitated and needs to fucking scream and nobody's listening and Melania won't listen, is tired of this shit, so you might as well go yell it into a camera or something. But the hilarious part, let me bring this down. Get out of here. I can shut this page down so that I don't have so much stuff. There we go. And the reality is there's a very distinct reason why he's doing these videos. And if you don't, he's just cranking them out. He's just yammering. Really bad polling for Ron DeSanctimonious. See what I mean? Ron DeSanctimonious is always talking about the number of votes he got in Florida. He doesn't say that I got a record one more than him. Is there anyone on the planet that doesn't know what I look like? Why do you have to have a mugshot? Buy my mugshot shit. Right. We are great children, incredible jobs, whatever life's Trump, whatever. Anyway, so this he's cranking these out for one reason. Oh, thanks, Pat. Keep the caps to a minimum. Ease into the conversation. You don't have to bumper sticker your way through this. But thanks. Okay. So the reason he's cranking these out is because when he posted on Truth Social, he broke his contract. He has a contract with the SPAC that get me out of jail. He has a contract with his SPAC to only post on that place, and he went ahead and posted on Twitter anyways. He posted his mugshot stuff, and then he's posted an ad for it, and that's a violation of his contract, and they can yank back whatever millions they gave him or sue him for undermining it because it's their investment, okay? And so to cover for that, right after, like a day later, he posted this like, Truth Social is the only social media anyone will ever need. It's the greatest, the great thing, right? So he put that up, and then that wasn't enough. So he started just dropping these fucking things because this is basically a demand from the investors in it. Yeah. So anyways, here he is with apparently he doesn't like Biden's campaign ads. This is I don't know why he has that kind of like that's it's very telling that this is the look on his face.
Here I am like an idiot.
Sorry. Yes, he is losing weight. He's definitely, speed and not sleeping will do that to you. Allegedly, I've heard. I've seen,
Crooked Joe Biden is spending $25 million on dishonest TV ads to lie to the American people.
Somebody's jealous. At least he has the money to spend on his fucking ads, Mr. Billionaire. You're a billionaire, right? Spend them, outspend him. Knock yourself out, dum-dum.
Cover up his many disasters and scandals. We can't let him get away with it. That's all they're good at is disinformation and misinformation.
Projection. Also, what do you mean let him get away with it? I don't know if you know this, but politicians during campaigns put ads on TV. Fuck off.
With your support, we will make sure that every single voter...
Right. We can't let that happen. We've got to stop his ads, which we can't do because free speech, which I would get rid of if I really could, but I can't. So give me your money so I can use it for ads that I'll really spend on, a plumber from Mar-a-Lago because I'm clogging those toilets up all the time. And then, of course, for my legal fees.
In the country knows the truth. Crooked Joe is the most incompetent and corrupt president in American history. It's not.
Yeah, he's so incompetent in his corruption that he's actually honest. Isn't that how it would work? Right? If you're... Because corruption would take a certain amount of competence, would it not? Is that not... I don't know.
Bullshit!
Right. I don't know. This sounds like bullshit. I think you're a strange, angry man.
Not even close.
It's not even close. Nobody knows.
So we cannot let them continue to run this country.
You don't have a choice, motherfucker. There's a whole other year to the election.
Because our country is going to hell.
So you've said. Define hell, because apparently you think hell is black unemployment and the mean unemployment in the country getting closer. Like that narrowing gap, like I'm beginning to think you think equal pay and 0% unemployment is your definition of hell.
We have to win in 24. If we don't win in 20,
you're not going to win. So don't spoiler alert. He's going to tell you what's going to happen next year because he's not going to win.
24. I don't believe our country even has a chance.
A chance. I don't even think.
We could joke away with it. That's all they're good at is.
So how do you not?
Disinformation and misinformation.
Oh, hold on. So, sorry, you were saying?
If we don't win in 24, I don't believe our country even has a chance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think life is doomed and we're fucked forever and life will end and it's just set, canceled. Don't go there. Just go away, quit it. And then the country will be over and everything that everyone has ever fought for, the greatest generation, everything we're done with. There's no hope for anyone in the whole wide world. Thank you very much. I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message. Hell, let me tell you something. Give me 1 second. Here's this. Oh, no. Here we go. Here we go. One more. This one is titled, hold on, because he jumped a bunch of these. Really bad polling for Ron DeSantis, and he's screaming. I gotta say, his nicknames go, DeSanctimonious. That's a lot of letters for very little impact. We're gonna win the Florida primary, and we're gonna win the state of Florida. Oh, so he just basically did 3 fuck DeSantis ones in a row. Look at this. Ron DeSanctimonious, barely bad polling. We're gonna win Florida. Fuck you. To every homeschool family, I love the poorly educated. I will be your champion. You should not have to go to these failing schools with this gender ideology where they're going to trans your kids and make you eat adrenochrome for lunch. Oh, okay. As president, I wasn't sure. Oh, he's drill, baby, drill. Is this going to, yeah, okay. Oh, Nevada. Okay, I'm in Nevada right now. Let's take this out. All right, so I fought for Nevada like no administration in history. I don't know. I mean, the least American energy like never before. Why? What do you think we drill oil here? What the fuck are you talking about? All right, let's see. And by the way, if he's going to take credit for helping Nevada as far as energy usage or something, then I'm going to give Biden credit for the fact that California and Nevada are now no longer in a drought. How's that? Fuck off. The government can't do anything until I'm in there, and then it does everything. And then when anybody else is in there, if they do anything, it's not because they did it. It's because I still am doing it, even though I'm not in there anymore. What the fuck? Okay, here we go. Ooh, it's sad, it's sad, it's sad. Okay, here we go.
Hello to the Washoe County Republican Party and
oh, this is just a video for them. Hello, Washoe. I hope you're enjoying the combo plate. Best buffet, because they'll go to McDonald's when you hate your food, and they'll bring you a fish delight.
Congratulations on a tremendously successful event. I want to thank Washoe County GOP Chair Bruce Parks, along with your host,
not Sparks, Parks,
Jim Furnoff.
Furnoff. It is hard to Jim. What happened to Jim?
Congratulations on a tremendously successful event. I want to
yeah, it was fabulous. I could tell from all the way over here on video.
Thank Washoe County GOP Chair Bruce Parks, along with your host Jim Furnoff.
Did he just shit?
As your president, I fought for Nevada like no administration in the history of our country.
What? All right. Well, we'll see. Okay. What was the big move?
Appointed nearly 300 pro-Constitution judges.
Why? So we don't have to have prostitution just legal in what, Reno and or wherever the fuck else, Pahrump and whatever. What? So we can have it statewide.
And 3 great Supreme Court justices.
What the fuck does that have to do with Nevada? This is where people come to break the law, dum-dum. Like, you do realize you're talking to the, if it happens here, it stays here state, right?
As I fought for free speech, religious liberty.
Yeah, it's a big church-going state in that regard. Shit.
The Second Amendment is secure only because of me. The right.
Yeah, so I guess, oh, you mean that part where you said mental patients can have guns.
To life. And our
oh, did I forget Sparks? Is it legal in Sparks? How ironic. And yet, how appropriate.
Patriotic American values. I got our economy booming.
Economy booming.
Like never before. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world.
And all it cost us was 1 million dead Americans.
I unleashed American energy and American mining. We were energy independent. We were.
Oh, wait. But he says American mining because he's like, I think they get uranium there, or they were going to bury it afterwards. This is the dump site, dummy.
Going to be energy dominant, and then they destroyed it all.
All of it. Yep. We're all, yeah, none of us can. I mean, they don't even have gas, much less how expensive it is. You just can't even get it.
It just caused massive inflation and ruined our country.
Yep. It's all gone. Everything's done. Nobody can go anywhere. Nobody's seen any concerts. Nobody's eating out anymore. Hospitality jobs have gone in the complete shitter. We're all locking down personally because it's just done. I have the drapes closed because the smell of the fires and the view of all the buildings burning is just it's distracting.
But we'll bring it back. Real median household income in Nevada increased by nearly $11,000 in just a short period of time.
Yeah, the part where you came in before your tax cut.
I also listened to.
There was still, what would you say? Still going on the fumes of the Obama administration?
The people of Nevada and Holt.
He really loves you. Nevada, you can tell that he really loves you because when he says Nevada, he does the werewolf.
Income in Nevada increased by nearly $11,000 in just a short period of time. I also listened to the people of Nevada and.
Yeah, I listened to the people of Nevada.
Halted funding for the Yucca Mountain Nuclear Waste Repository because I lived by the motto, promises made, promises kept. I told you I was going to do that. Guys like Ron DeSanctimonious, they want to do it. They want to let it just be anything they want.
That's right, anything you want. They want to put all kinds of stuff in Yucca. They want to store all kinds. They want to do, the Yucca thing. They're going to do it. I said I would do it, and I didn't do it. And I stopped it because I was going to stop it, and I said I was going to stop it. After it was stopped, I said I'm going to stop it. They went, it's already stopped, and you went, okay. And now Ron DeSanctimonious is going to fill it up with the sewage from New York City, Democrat poop. He's going to build a pipeline right through Iowa and just jettison turds from Jewish Democrats right into the fucking hell.
Want to do it?
All right, what? Listen to that again. This is fucking beautiful.
Promises made, promises kept. I told you I was going to do that. Guys like Ron DeSanctimonious, they want to do it. They want to let it just be anything they want. They want to do it.
And people are giving Mitch McConnell shit.
Tried to go after your Social Security. He tried to go after Medicare and Medicaid.
Oh.
This guy, if you really look at it,
you can't even, this guy, or you're supposed to be fighting Biden. Aren't you far enough ahead where you don't even have to worry about this dickhead? It seems to be making you, why is he making you nervous? Have you seen some polling? It says Spicy Dragon, congratulations on your poop being a pipe, and not a lead pipe. Thank you, President Biden. Fuck yeah, Brandon. That your poop is going to be piped. We're going to pipe your poop right down here to Yucca Mountain and drop it in there because it can be whatever you want. Whatever you're gonna do, whatever you gotta.
You don't want him. You don't want him representing you. That I can tell you.
Oh, that I can tell you.
Going after Social Security, he voted against it 3 times.
Why aren't you shitting on Mike Lee?
And he voted to, very importantly, raise the minimum age to 70. That was a big increase. Now it's time to finish the job of making America great again with your vote.
By lowering the entry point for Social Security to 27, because that's when a woman, even if she's a 10, becomes a 2, right? When she turns 27, that's the beginning of the end. You know, that's when they lose all the... That's why I don't like it.
I will secure the border. I will save the economy. I will purge the deep state, and I will do something.
Yeah. All the things that I said I was going to do the first time, but I was never able to do, but I said I did, but I have to do it again because it didn't happen, because apparently I got rid of the deep state, and I was great. I was going to build 300 miles of more deep state wall, but we could have done it in 2 weeks, but we didn't.
Thing that nobody else can say they can do. I know them all.
Yeah, no, everybody can say they can do it because you're saying you can do it and you never fucking do.
I know all the players. Prevent World War III, because we're very close right now.
Well, at least, I hope it's at least a year off. The fuck is this? It's a Jewish turd laser. I knew it. Yeah, were you president for 4 fucking years, dum-dum? Right? With the living shit. Fucking...
Here I am like an idiot.
Never gonna get bored of that. Never gonna not be fun.
But first, we have to win the Nevada caucuses.
Yeah, probably.
Next February, and I hope that every one of you go to nv.donaldjtrump.com to sign up and join our campaign. And if you can, sign up as a Trump caucus chair. Once again, that's nv.
Yes, the irony that you seem to envy Joe Biden and you envy Ron DeSanctimonious.
DonaldJTrump.com.
Why is that hard? .com.
Together we will defeat crooked Joe Biden, most corrupt president in the history of our country, the most, actually, he would say this, and I think I can say it with great dignity and strength.
What? He got lost. Oh, fuck. Say that again. I think I can say this with great dignity and strength. That's the line you use for Afghanistan withdrawal, dum-dum.
And if you can, sign up as a Trump caucus chair. Once again, that's NV.
Smallest caucus in the world. Teeny caucus. They call it the mushroom caucus around here. I don't know why. It's just Stormy Daniels named it.
DonaldJTrump.com. Together we will defeat crooked Joe Biden, most corrupt president in the history of our country, the most, actually, he would say this, and I think I can say it with great dignity and strength, the most incompetent president.
He would say this. Yeah, Biden would say this. So you're saying he would say this, and then you can say it with dignity and strength. I mean, I'm looking at your face. This doesn't look like dignity and strength. This looks like just petulant, childish, middle school bullshit. I think I can say this with great dignity and strength. He is the most incompetent president we've ever seen. Chin up, everyone. Chin up, everyone. March cleanly into World War III. Oh, here we go.
In the history of our country. We will take back the White House and we will take back our country. We will make America.
Yes, take it back to when we had hundreds of thousands of people dying and jobs and businesses being destroyed and you were kissing Xi Jinping's ass and Vladimir Putin's ass. Back to that.
Great again. God bless you all.
Oh, thanks. That's right. He said, "God bless us." That's so sweet. He had a Tiny Tim moment. Maybe it was all the talk about his mushroom. I don't know why. Why are you saying longer, harder wood? That's not right.
I like wood.
That's not right.
Deeper and longer.
Well, that's up to you. Honest to God. Personally, I don't know why y'all don't like these videos. They're fucking great, man. This is my new favorite show. I've been to binge. I might call you. Fuck, do you think he'll get mad because I got one of them Obama phones? I do. I got one. I won it in a bet. I didn't get it from the government. I would never take a government phone. Although it does have a government number. And I have apparently I can send it allows me to email from it. It's a flip phone, but it does email or whatever. And I got John L. Peters at iov.gov. It's weird. I keep getting all these messages for Joe Biden. It's so strange. And then but I won't say anything dirty because all this shit's, they archive it. I don't want my stuff found. Hey, there you go. There's never been a president work so hard for Iowa. He does like a bunch of Iowa. I love Iowa. Look at that. Iowa. Congratulations, Boone County. Wait, Boone County? Shit. Which, on a very successful Eisenhower social. I went to that Eisenhower social one time. That was a good time, man. They know how to tie one on, son of a bitch. They do a margarita with salt on the rim. But I was like, it was weird because they were like, do you want salt on the rim? And I was like, sure. And dude turns around and he goes,
drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
And I was like, hang the fuck. I should have specified which rim, shouldn't I? That was my mistake. It turned out to actually be the best choice. I got to say, whatever. It was a little chafy the rest of the night. But I got to say, I met some fun people. Let me tell you what. Okay, so tell me all about this Eisenhower social, man. When is it next time? There's Trump, man. Look at that, man. You looking good, brother. You looking good. You got your neck vagina all glistening and folded and stuff. A little nut happening right there. You look all stern. You've been staring at your mugshot, haven't you? I did that. I remember when I got a copy of my mugshot, I was like always trying to recreate that moment. It's sort of like the opposite of your driver's license where you're like, God damn, do I look like that? You get your mugshot and you're like, man, did I ever look that mean and that drunk and that bloody and with those fresh stitches? I mean, everybody's different. That was mine. Okay, so what you saying? What you gonna say about that Boone County?
Hello to the Boone County Republican Party.
You don't have to say that. All you just go to, yeehaw, like that. They know what you mean.
And congratulations on a very successful Eisenhower social.
It was great, man. They had them little fizzy drunks down there, and you get that, they like Shirley Temples, it's weird. It's just straight bourbon, but they put a little, like, Orphan Annie wig on top, and you drink through it like a filter. It's good, because I every time I get to drinking, I'll lose a tooth down my drink.
I want to thank Boone County GOP Chairman.
Well, then do it. Ain't nothing stopping you. Why you always say you want to thank somebody? Just say thank you to do it. Fucking do it. What are you scared of? Motherfucker thinks thank you is a four-letter word.
Gary Nystrom.
Oh, he's a good guy.
And all of the incredible patriots here today. You really are patriots. You're
Thanks. I'm glad you noticed that there, man. You know what I mean? Because I got to tell you what, I got a rather personal patriotic tattoo on my pecker, and when I get aroused, let's just say the flag unfurls.
Incredible people.
Well,
as you know, I fought for Iowa as no president has ever fought before. There's never been a president that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to fucking nitpick, but I think, let me look something up here for a second. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. That's there. Hold on. I don't want this there. Yeah, hold on. Let me get a picture of him. Hold on. This is my I got to tell you what. This feller, I like a lot of presidents, but I got to tell you, this feller, I just like his name. Get this there. This old President Poke, man. I'd like to give you a little presidential poke sometime if you're feeling up for it, ladies. How you doing? So, yeah, Poke, no offense to Donald Trump, but Polk was president when Iowa became a state. Like, without him, ain't no Iowa at all. So I mean, you might be a close second. I ain't giving you shit, but I mean, be fair. Fucking hell, you know what I'm saying? He knows what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Party in the front, poke in the back. That was his military doctrine. I don't know if y'all know that. Yeah. Yeah. He had a military book he wrote called The Art of Warm Cheeks. Hold on one second. Now let's go back to what he was talking. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Former President and current microblogger.
I worked so hard for Iowa and got.
Well, beats working smart, man. That tuckers me the fuck out. Always work hard, kids. Let me tell you something. Because I worked smart like twice. First time I got a nosebleed. The second time, I honestly don't even fucking remember what happened, man. I ended up in vague images of like being in the middle of New Circle Road outside of Lexington, buck naked. I was carrying one deer antler, and not with my hands. And I had something written on me, but I can't spell. But I just remember the nurses giggling. And then, honestly, I could tell. It was one of them nights. It was one of them nights where you're just like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but I do know one thing. I'm going to end up pleading no contest. Straight up. Like, one of them nights, that used to be our, like, kind of mating call. Like, who wants to plead no contest? And that was, like, how you knew it was going. Yeah, that was fucking me, Vec. You knew. Don't even pretend, man. People bail you out and then forget.
Iowa such rewards. I defended Iowa ethanol. I
defended Iowa ethanol. With what? Shit. Oh, that's nice. Thank you there, JD Christie, for that super chat there. It you make a feller feel welcome. That's awfully nice of you.
For $28 billion to our farmers straight.
Yeah, they ain't all in Iowa, dumb fuck. You just fly over Iowa and see all the corn, you're like, they ain't got shit but farmers around here. What, they 9 of them?
From the tariffs of China. China never had it so bad. They never.
Had they what? Hold on. Back the fuck up, dummy. They never had it so bad when? Shit. I'll stop it. I don't even know how to run this stuff. Back the fuck up, dummy. What?
That worked so hard for Iowa and got Iowa such rewards. I defended Iowa ethanol. I delivered $28 billion to our farmers straight from the tariffs of China.
I thought you said terrorists of China. That's funny. Straight from the tariffs of China. Okay, so some of that went to 9 people in Iowa who qualified under the very narrow standards of what you get money. And the rest of it went to those 2 Brazilian rancher brothers who own a bunch of property in Wyoming, right?
China never had it so bad. They never had this happen to them.
No, they don't. I don't think that they ain't never had it so bad. Well, I don't know what they bitching about now. If it was worse then, why are they saying it's worse now? I mean, people, you know what? Fuck it. People is gonna always complain. You can't do nothing. You really can't.
I also got hundreds of billions of dollars for our treasury, but we gave the farmers $28 billion because.
So wait, so you got hundreds of billions and you gave on trade, mostly about food, and you only gave 28 to all the farmers in the United States? We got a $26 trillion economy in this fucking country, brother. You only gave $28 billion. What'd you do? Keep the rest? You fuck?
Because you were treated very badly by China, and you know that?
Yeah, I know that, but some of us pay extra for that. We ain't here to yuck nobody's yum. Come on now.
That President Xi knows that and knew the way I felt. We got you $28 billion. Nobody else is going to be able to do that. I ended NAFTA.
Well, that, for the record, nobody has to do that because they're actually selling their shit to other people. They ain't a problem.
And replaced it with the best trade deal ever made in our country, the USMCA, that's Mexico, Canada. NAFTA was the worst deal ever made.
Okay, so if that's the worst one, then why'd you kill TPP? Wasn't it kind of fair to Midland?
And I protected Iowa's first in the nation status, just as I promised. You would not.
Well, that's just ass kissing.
Not be first in the nation if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
So what? Why? I mean, fucking difference does it make? Everybody gets a say. You just protected it because you think you had a lock on the fucking thing. So you paid the farmers a bribe, and then you kept the caucuses there because you thought that'd give you a fucking lift in case anybody primaried you. the shit?
Now it's time to finish the job of making America great again.
Well, so you're basically just taking Biden's slogan and combining it with yours? It's not like he's going to sue. He doesn't really give a fuck about you.
With your vote, I will secure the border. I will save the economy.
Wait a minute. You need my vote to do it? What are you going to do? Make paper mache out of the fucking ballot?
I will purge the deep state.
Why didn't you do it before? If it's that easy.
And I will prevent World War III, something no one else can say, because we're very close to World War III, and I've predicted just about everything right.
Well, for that close, you'll never have a fucking chance, man. It's like it's over. It's like over a year and 4 fucking months, man. If World War III doesn't happen in the next year, it ain't going to happen at all. What the fuck?
It all starts at the Iowa caucuses.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? And so did my herp. But let's not talk about
January
that.
15th. I hope each and every one of you will go to IA.
Jesus Christ, man. I got to tell you, look, I can't read for shit, but I have never struggled with those 2 vowels. You look like you're choking to death, man. IA. Whew. That's a lot of fucking work for a couple of vowels. What? Say that again?
Got everything right.
Yeah, just about.
It all starts at the Iowa caucuses on January 15th. I hope.
Okay, wait, hang on, because here come them vowels again.
Each and every one of you will go to ia.donaldjtrump.com.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. You squeezed them out, though. I'm very proud of you. I mean, I'm fairly certain you turtled a turd on that one when you said it, because when you said .com, I faintly heard like a in the background. You know what I'm saying? Did you all hear that? I think, and then there was just a hint of like, just buried.
To sign up and join our campaign, and if you can, sign up as a Trump caucus chair.
What kind of chair are we talking about? That sounds like one of them weird sex objects you buy where you sit in it and it's got like a swing and a little attachment and there's like a thing that, one of them rings. And I can never find the right batteries for the thing. I always show up with either D batteries or them fuckers that go in watches. I don't know how fucking. I don't read Chinese.
Once again, it's ia.donaldjtrump.com.
Yeah, I think it was good to record a faster version of it at a different angle to cover your ass. That looks way better, man. I would have erased. I don't know about you and your editors, but I'd have cut out the part where you're like I would have taken that part out and just jumped straight to this one, and but. What the fuck do I know?
Together we will defeat crooked Joe Biden, the most crooked and incompetent president in the history of our country. We will.
Again, doesn't that mean he's honest? If you're the most crooked and the most incompetent crook, or the most corrupt, incompetent, that means you're a good person. It's like a double negative, although I've never been a big believer in it. As I've always said, and it's one of you can take this to bank, this is a fake saying, right? Whatever. There ain't no such thing as a double negative. Come on now.
We'll take back the White House, and we will take back our country. We got to take back our country, because our country is going to hell with this leadership, the worst we've ever had.
I mean, it ain't. I gotta say, man, it ain't that bad. Like, even traffic seems better. Maybe it's just like a placebo effect or something, but honest to God, I ain't white knuckling this fucking country the way I was for the last fucking, 3 years before his dude showed up. I'm okay.
I always say we could take the worst 5 presidents.
Yeah, I know. You always say the same shit over and over again. And?
In the history of our nation,
right.
Add them together, they will not have done, and they would not have done the damage that crooked Joe Biden has done.
Right, yeah. I mean, because he hasn't done any. Therefore, you add them up, you can't multiply by 0. 5 times 0 ain't, it's fucking 0. It ain't. Especially if you're one of them.
And what he has done to this country is
terrible.
Horrible.
Oh, terrible, man. You can't go anywhere. Can't do anything. It used to be hashtag Rip Portland. Now it's fucking hashtag everywhere. Just rip everywhere.
So we have to win. We have to be strong. We're going to take.
Well, and we have to grit our teeth and make a weird kind of every time. Remember, kids, if you're ever confronted with a word that's difficult to say, just go right after you're done saying it. It won't change a fucking thing, but it'll make you feel better. I'm mad at that syllable.
Take it back. This is going to be the most important election we've ever had. God bless you all. Thank you.
Well, I feel blessed. I will say that. I did not need any help from you, sir. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And I tell you, there ain't nothing wrong with Donald Trump that a couple of clipped nerves couldn't straighten out. And I think that's true for a bunch of them. I gotta say, he's got another message? Well, shit, let's take a look at this. Because he's talking to me. Oh, shit, I just saw another one. We got to address this one. You glad I'm here, motherfuckers. Look at this. Hold on. Here's the name. If you are a fisherman, I am. Hunter, I am. Unless you're talking about Hunter Biden, but I guess we'll set that aside. Or a sportsman. I like sports. I'm a sport. Nudge, nudge. Know what I'm saying? I can't even imagine you could vote for this group of maniacs. Well, I know some fucking dudes who like to go fucking hunting, and they're fucking maniacs, man. They know how to yeehaw. They want to take away everything. Well, where would they put it? Don't vote Democrat. Isn't that the general? I don't want to nitpick, but that's basically shit. That's you're Republican. That's what you're supposed to say, right? It's a two parties. You're in one of them. You want to vote for you, not the other. And I don't know. Of course, don't vote. Okay, here we go. Tell me all about it, Mr. Second Amendment. By the way, this motherfucker can't shoot. I got to tell you.
For nearly 3 years, crooked Joe Biden has waged a radical left crusade against America's hunters, fishermen, and sportsmen.
And still people are hunting, fishing, and having a little sporting. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he's terrible at it. I guess we're all lucky he's the most incompetent president we've ever had, because he's been waging this war on all of us, and it ain't done shit.
If you are a fisherman or a hunter or a sportsman,
or a dildo salesman, or a sheep shearer, or both, or neither,
I can't even imagine you could vote for this group of maniacs. They want to take away everything.
So they basically just writing down what you say in the description. Well, hey, man, points for, being, as they say in England, what it says on the tin.
The far left environmental fascists running Joe Biden's Fish and Wildlife Service have
Fish and Wildlife? Jesus Christ, man. If I was you, you like fish delights, and you tell some wild lies. I'd say you should have fucking run to be that cabinet secretary.
Needlessly restricted lead ammunition and fishing tackle in large swaths of the United States. You can't get a tackle.
Oh, believe me, hey, man, I got my tackle, and let me show you right now. I'll show it to you right there on your forehead if you want me to. I ain't got a tackle problem at all. And needlessly getting rid of fucking lead ammo, because it's leaching into the ground fucking water, and you don't need lead. You can fucking what? Why would you want to dirty up the fucking landscape and fill up the rivers and streams with stray lead all the fucking time, stupid? Especially with these assholes who all go hunting in the same fucking place every goddamn year, sleeping in the duck blind, 180 yards from the fucking watering hole, calling themselves a fucking hunter, just hanging out up there till a deer walks by and gets the only drink in town and then blows them away. It's like going drunk hunting and parking in front of the bar. I'm not impressed. If you're going to impress me, you got to get a day drunk in the middle of it who's just having a sip in an office building when nobody else is looking. That's some hunting. That shit.
You can't get bullets the way you want them.
Well, I got to tell you, there's only one way I want bullets. And no, not that way.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
That's not what I'm talking about. Get the bullets the way you want them.
Old-fashioned way, the way that really is effective and works.
get the old-fashioned bullets, the effective bullets, because these new steel carbon fiber bullets or whatever, they are, their molecular density might be more dense, and sure, they might travel at the same velocity and ever so slightly quieter, but they don't leach toxins into the meat that you're going to consume later. And where's the fun in that?
It's a backdoor effort to end hunting forever and to...
I told you, I don't want my bullets
Drop
that
your
way.
shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
No, I do not want a backdoor effort to get the bullets in there.
You say it's a backdoor, but I call it a smart door.
I don't care what you fucking call it.
Take away your guns. They want to take away your guns. This is the...
No. This is about ecology, dumb fuck. If they want to take away your guns, giving you another source of ammo is not how you do it.
The way they're doing it. They don't want to give you ammunition. You can have...
No, what kind of fucking commie gives people ammunition? They got to pay for it, stupid. Oh, now don't tempt me out there, Ann.
Have your guns because somehow they failed at that during my time, but they want...
They failed by not trying, stupid.
To take away your ammunition.
They're not going to take away my ammunition, mister.
I had to beat off.
That's not anybody's fucking business.
It doesn't do much without ammunition.
You sure? You ever tried one? You seem like you're speaking from a position of authority on that. A gun doesn't do much without ammunition. You should write that down. I would add that to my next speech at the NRA if I was you.
Likewise, the Biden Department of Education recently stopped funding for school archery and firearm programs, which are designed to allow young Americans to educate themselves on basic firearms and hunting safety. Their goal is to eradicate the American hunting tradition that is a bond for countless American families. And
hang the fuck out. Number one, the tradition of hunting and fishing in this country did not start with public schools. You learn from your parents. That's what makes it a fucking tradition, dipshit. Yes, what's the traditional way that we learn hunting in this area? Well, they have a 3-week summer program at the YMCA. It's based on what the Choctaw used to teach their people. You fucking go out in the woods and shoot at cans, dummy. The school started doing it to teach safety, asshat. And the archery thing was because there was no deadly weapons in fucking school.
Communities, they want to take away everything that brings you joy and connects you
to a corpse. Yeah, connects you. They want to take everything that connects you to the scene of the crime. The Democrats are coming for your smoking gun that has your fingerprints on it that you were stupid enough to throw in a trash can less than a block away from the scene of the crime. Those damn Democrats, man.
Your heritage and traditions, and also brings you great safety. They want to end it all.
You bet. Hold on. I'm getting a call. Hold on. This is the... I'm doing the show right now, so I can't really talk. So I'll call you back. Are you headed back this way? Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, cool. Well, I'll see you when you get here, and I won't let Hal know you called me. Cause yeah, we'll keep this on the DL. That's right. Cause I hope you understand that look how pretty I am right now. How you doing? So don't forget, get sexy and stay that way. I'll see you soon. Bye. So I'm always getting some strange calling me in the middle of work. Happens every fucking time. Most of the time it happens when I'm resting on the main drop lever of the load lifter, and it just gets to strike me right at the right time. And that shit, I tell you, they ought to put a safety catch on there or whatever that just makes if you in the middle of a cat call or a wolf whistle, and you go woo-hee, and you lean back on the thing, and then it drops a thing of girders on a bunch of people you're supposed to be working with. It happens. Anyways, what were you saying, dumb fuck?
I want to destroy ultimately America and the
Well, yeah, but I will say this. If they do want to destroy America, the one thing you can be sure of, they don't want to shoot it. Maybe they just want to throw knives or chopsticks at it. You know what I mean? Use like hand weapons largely.
American way of life. As president, I always stood shoulder to shoulder with America's sportsmen. I opened up millions.
Yeah, except one time when they actually went to do sporting things. And golf don't fucking count, buddy. Unless you're talking about skeet shooting golf. Oh, that's the shit, man. You get out there and you're like, 4! Pow! Like that, and the kaplam. And if the chips from the clay pigeon land in the holes that were created when you was playing dynamite games earlier in the day, you get 2 points.
Millions of acres of federal land to hunters, fishermen, and outdoorsmen.
And yeah, and it'd be a shame if we weren't able to, like, flood that with lead toxins, even though we have a myriad of other ammunition choices that are in many ways superior.
I canceled the lead ammunition ban. It was canceled immediately. And I repealed Barack Obama's ridiculous restrictions on hunting and trapping in Alaska's vast wilderness.
That's right, because you know what I really fucking hate? There's 2 things I hate. Videos of them polar bears when they attack a reporter inside one of them plexiglass balls. You ever seen that? That's terrible. It's frightening. Devastating. Because I'm sitting there watching the whole time like, there, that guy's in there. He's got his camera. He probably brought some snacks. I guarantee that man is making some butt soup, because that's a scary situation. And you're in this clear circle, this ball's rolling around, and you are making butt soup. Got mud butt, and that thing's gonna roll you up over your. I'm just sorry, I'm having fucking flashbacks from that. The other thing I can't stand is those goddamn baby seals. They're so fucking cute. Oh, I fucking hate them. Not because they're cute, because they don't stay that way. Man, it's one thing you get a kitten, it turns into a cat. You get a puppy, it turns into a dog. And they can still be sweet and cute or whatever, but a fucking baby seal turns into a giant fucking blubber walrus thing with fucking giant whiskers and a bone for a dick, and it's always like, you can't have a couch and a walrus in your house. Can't do it. Piss me off.
When I'm reelected,
that ain't gonna happen.
I will terminate Joe Biden's crazed assault on hunting, sporting, and fishing.
Yeah, you do realize that, interestingly enough, and it's a cute choice of words you got there, but you do realize that lead makes you crazed. Like, that is literally one of the effects of lead poisoning. It makes you a crazy, impulsive, dangerous motherfucker. And you don't ask me how I know that, because, okay, so I had this buddy for a long time, and he will remain nameless because most people have a hard time pronouncing Jimmy Dean Raymond. Anyways, so JD Yarn, as I like to call him, he and I, we used to hang out for a long time. I was like, this dude like to party, man. We get our fucking, like, he would drink beer through the bottom of the can. Like, he was one of them. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird because he always made that statement, you don't buy beer, you ran it. You know what I mean? But he was committed. He put a beer cozy on his nuts. I'm dead serious. And I have a rule, and I mean, maybe this is a piece of advice I'd like to pass down to you, but I'm dead serious, and we're going to end on this, but I got a piece of advice for you. If you never buy beer on tap, draft beer, from a bar that has ice in the urinals. It's a standard. You just have to, I'm just telling you, it's a good piece of advice. You can take that one to the fucking bank. Anyways, JDR and I'm fucking partying, and it's nutty, man. It's just, we're getting it on like Donkey Kong. He does this thing where you get some, he'd get some Oxy and he'd crush it up and he'd pour it out all over the fucking picnic table, right? and they piss all over it to liquefy a lot of it. And you get up there barefoot and dance on top of it, and you could just see them get nuttier, 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 nuttier as the night went on. Whew. I'm like, it's the only time in my life.
It is a crazed assault, and don't vote
shut
Democrat.
the fuck up. I'll tell you about a crazy assault. So anyways, we was partying one time, and I have a rule. If you have permanent, like spongiform encephalitis-like damage to your prefrontal cortex in your frontal lobe that will affect your impulses and your decision-making and make you, in general, a fucking psychopath, that's cool. But just tell me up front. Don't break it to me when we're both in the car and I let you talk me into letting you drive and the rollers come on. I don't need a conversation like that, especially when you start swerving all over the fucking place and reaching in the glove box for a gun. Fuck that. I am not, all right, in my life, I'm proud to say that unlike the rest of my family, I have only had to leap from a moving car 3 times. Everybody in my family is well into the double digits, and I have stayed below that number, and I do not intend to make it 4. Although a nice round number wouldn't be. Never mind. No. Anyways, 3 times. And that was the last time, okay? For a couple reasons. One is he was going too goddamn fast. So I was like, oof. I realized later what you want to do, anytime you're partying with a real freak, you want to get a little piece of dental floss and wrap it around the brake pedal, and then you thread it, cross over into the passenger seat, and then you run it up the side to the lever that operates the seat to slide it forward and back. You know what I mean? If it's over here, down in the center or whatever. In the center, they might go, why are you reaching at your dick? And you have to explain something. But most of the time, it's one of them or the other. And then you just give it a good, if they fucking around, you just give it a tug on that. Won't stop the car, but it'll slow it down just enough to give you a fighting chance, at not, actually swallowing gravel, which is not the hard part. It's the passing of it that's difficult. You know what I mean? When it actually makes it. And now I gotta say, the end part isn't. Anyways, it's while it's fucking around in there for a little while, where you're like, is this ever coming out? That kind of shit. Anyways, point I'm trying to make is that lead is bad. And I can spot lead poisoning now because of my experience with that. Where, lead it's eating away at your brain and you dumb as shit and you didn't realize, maybe you weren't around a poor place like Flint, Michigan, drinking the water and it fucked with you or something, or like that Freddie Gray feller in Baltimore who had lead poisoning since he was a kid and made him all nutty and all that shit, and he had bad impulse control or whatever. Sometimes I understand that there was a period, and I don't know if it's true, it's probably not true, but they had him in them McDonald's fish sandwiches for a little while. It was the fish they was getting had lead content. It was like the traces of it in there, and it makes some people fucking dumb
because you're going to lose everything.
Look, I don't gamble anymore for just that reason.
We will bring back funding for archery and firearm education.
Firearm education. Hey man, I don't need any fucking funding. The Comanche didn't need fucking funding. I don't need fucking funding.
And to permanently stop the left's attack on ammunition, I will ask Congress to send me a bill declaring the right to lead ammunition.
Yeah, that's a great idea. More lead. I would actually say, I would run on that as your primary campaign promise. I will fill the rivers and streams of America and pepper the hillsides and the fields of our great nation with as much lead and lead dust and lead remnant as is possible. For the kids.
On federal lands, remember that lead ammunition, they want to make it out of paper. Lead ammunition.
Hang the fuck out. No, they do not. They know these ain't spitballs, you dumb son of a bitch. What the fuck you mean paper? Jesus Christ, fucking paper? Paper? How the fuck do you think hunting works? Shit, you'd be better off with a paintball or airsoft. Paper? Did he really fucking say that?
Declaring the right to lead ammunition on federal lands. Remember that, lead ammunition. They want to make it out of paper. Lead ammunition on federal lands.
Paper. This motherfucker thinks, dude, I have to say, I gotta end the show on this one, because I never thought this day would come. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit emotional, folks, because I've always been a little bit sensitive about my mental capacity in comparison to other people. But I feel a genuine sense of renewed hope in my life right at this moment. Because if that fucking idiot was president, I can be too. I finally found somebody dumber than me, and it feels good. I feel better about myself. I feel good. I'm excited, and I might run for comptroller, one of them jobs nobody knows what it is. Holy shit. This would be great. We're going to make America ficus again. My father! All right. Woo! Come on now. Light it up, everybody. Give me a like up there. Send some super chats. Get on that Patreon on your way out the door. Do yourself some good. Them credits roll. Roll them credits so people can say thank you. So people can see who did the good work on there. God bless them. Lord Almighty, these are good people. Look at that. Where's that? There's a button for it. There it is. I think it didn't even work. It rejected it. Ooh, something wrong. Maybe it just takes a minute. What's this button do? Ow! That's not good. That one's, I don't know if it was hooked up to something or shit. What's this button do?
I broke their ass.
That's disgusting. Okay, that ain't the one. See if we can get up in there. That thing. Maybe gotta open this thing up to do it, or shut down. Look at that. There you go. Do it. Maybe it's on here. Widgets. Down through here. What's this button? Oh my God, they have a button that makes me sneeze. How is that possible? It made my giggles spasm. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. Come on now. Look at that, you lovely people. Thank you so much. There's that Mr. Fitz and the father, and there's that Dex Fact. Oh, Food Munch, you. That's naughty. Surrender Monkey Monk, Dex Fact, that's good. William, thank you for subscribing more. Now look at you. Look at that Royal WC and Man Cheetah coming in there, and WSU Cougar 93. Keith, oh, hey, Keith, 2012. Phil, there you go. Hoffman, what's going on? Vegan Sean, hello. Jay, No Value 3, you're a coder. Webb, Black Dragon, look at that. Surrender Monkey Moan. That's funny. Celtic Mary, Pauly Pants, Jester, Trek Nerd, good for you, man. Real, couldn't get that, sorry. Pat Lil, Adorabelle, that's cute. Joe Space, Mr. and Mr. I like both them bands. Laser Wiccan, how you doing? Never, Joe and Lisa, I got that old head. DJ Fox, how y'all doing? Molly and Lolo and Adam. Lisa for Truth and Norm. I gotta read faster. KT Rose, I'm getting the nosebleed. Fist Thrones. Suzanne, there you are. Tony Ball, Doug, Susan, Thomas, get at it. Edgar, what's going on? Kisses, Bob. Hugs as well. Professor Funbags, love you. Roxana, Wes, Daryl and Daryl. Kyle, Michael, Margaret, Chris, Terry, Vampy, Bonnie. I'm going to run out of time. Carta, Jennifer, Peggy, Liz, Chris, Cayman. You guys are wonderful. Look at this. Joan, Lucky Roller, Napa Valley Girl, question mark, so we don't